What up, everybody? Happy New Year. Brand new season, Two Mics Up, season 9, episode 201. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 201 episodes. Brand new year. As you can see, brand new panel, brand new co-host, brand new format, brand new energy, man. We bringing it to y'all live, man. I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm going to stop talking for a moment. I'm going to let our co-hosts, introduce themselves for some of you who may not, because I don't know how you're not familiar with these gentlemen, because one has been rocking for a minute, on the Tuesday Blitz, and one has been here before. He's a familiar face and family. So without further ado, to my right, I'm going to start up top. Hey, Osage, man, introduce yourself to everybody, man, and let us know how you feeling tonight.
I wasn't trying to be in the hot seat first, but hey, we'll do it. Hey, good evening, good evening. How we feeling? What's going on? How you doing? How you feeling? Of course, my name is Big A Sam Adams. I've been here for a couple of years now, rocking with y'all every Tuesday with the most illustrious host, Mr. Dame NYC on Two Mics Up. It's
Appreciate you,
always
bro.
an honor to be here. Always an honor to rock it here with you. And now we got my boy Cliff in the mix too. We're about to get it on the pop.
Yes,
All right, well,
sir. Yes,
Cliff,
sir. What's going on, world? Is your boy Clifton Durham, TD3 Insurance Agency and Associates owner, um, entrepreneur. All right, if you want to call it. I'm here with my guys. This is family, right? I've been attached with Two Mics Up since the birth,
that's
right? Since
right.
the
That's
birth
right.
of it, and I've been asking when can I get my Ryan Clark, my Marcus Spears. When can I get my audition? When can I get my time? And I'm very grateful that my brother Sam is family. I moved to Virginia 17 years ago. I moved to Virginia,
Right.
and every cousin's house I went to, Sam was there. So I said, this gotta be family. This must be family, and we just clicked, man. And that's my guy. That's
Yeah.
absolutely family. You know what I mean? And just good to be with my boys. That's all. Here to have
Hey,
fun.
man. Yeah, I love it, man. Like I say, it's definitely all family, all love here. I see some people coming in, man. Drop us a comment, man. Let us know where you are, where you watching us from. We're glad to have you here. Like I said at the top of the show, it's 2026, man. And you know what? Every new year, I think we all start out with some type of New Year's resolution, some type of change or whatever. And I'm going to start there. And while Sam is getting himself together and the Gremlins and all that, Clip, I want to start with you, bro. Like, as we move into 2026, like what would you say is your New Year's resolution? Um, or what positive change do you look forward to making as we move into 2026?
Well, let me tell you something. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, right? And that's why I love this show. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Some years ago, I used to do the whole New Year's resolution thing, right?
Right.
I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna get healthier and all that. And it just wasn't. I couldn't get consistent on it, right? So I kind of
Hmm.
stayed away from the resolutions and just make action plans and goals. So
Right.
my goal for and my plan for 2026 is to improve, right? Improve year
Mm.
over year. You know how in business you want to have a 25% growth year over year. Well, I want Clifton Durham to have a 25% growth year over year. What I did last year, how can I improve from last year, right? I also want to expand, right? I've been listening to some things on expanding. Okay, you expand Clifton Durham
Hmm.
as personally, expand me business wise, right? You expand yourself. That means you're going to grow. You're going to outfit some things, right? Could
Right.
be some clothes. It could be some people, right?
True. True.
But you're going to grow to a whole new level. So that's what I'm a focus on for 2026.
I love that, man, and that really fits into my mantra and my motive. But I'm going to hang back on that one. But I love that energy and that thought because it is about growth. It is about elevation. Both personally and in business. And Sarge, you've transitioned too from being in the military,
Yeah.
and you're still working in that and in a capacity of that. But I'm curious to know from your standpoint, because you got a vast career, you had a vast career, 25 plus years, and I thank you for your service. But for you, where you are right now in this stage in your life, for
Right.
2026, what change or what positives are you going to make for yourself?
Well, I mean, you said it. 25 years in the service, I ain't no spring chicken anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, them days of me wilding out and everything, you had to taper down on that stuff a little bit. So, I think
Right.
for 2025, just getting more serious and self care. You know,
Mm,
especially with some of you look at I look at some of my friends and that were in the same bracket, and some of them aren't here anymore. So with
Mm.
that being said, like, taking care of your body, taking care of your health, acknowledging when you're hurt or when you're sick. These are things that, we have to take in consideration more. So
yeah,
that's one of the
love
things
that.
that I plan on focusing on for 2026. Normally I would say, because I want to say we had this segment last year, and I said, the big thing with resolutions is I don't make any resolutions too. So I'm kind of like
Okay.
Cliff as well too. So I'm in that boat, but I'm just trying to take it easy and continue the self development in the space that I'm in right now. Is less stress, but I still get to teach what I've learned from my service, especially with recruiting. Um, and then that's about it. Just be here for my friends and family. Start seeing people more too.
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
post COVID, we really haven't been in that space to go out and um, interact with people like we used to,
Hmm.
pre-COVID and everything. So I
Yeah.
would like to get back into that as well too. So those are some of the things for 2026 for myself.
Okay. I think those things are great. And I want to say thank you for all the comments. I don't know about a laser or a lizard, but I want to say what's up to V and everybody else joining in, man.
What's
Keep the
going on,
comments
V?
coming. Um, you know, you both bring up great points, and where you both are kind of like I said, they both sit with me because for me, change is good. Um, just this format, this energy, this type of conversation. And you both kind of hit on things. One, doing more in person and being around and getting with those, that mean the most to me, and changing my space.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well, I've been blessed for 8 seasons to do things in the interview style and interview manner where it's really helped. But you got to get out of your comfort zone too. And I really
yeah,
felt that this year was the year to make that change to not necessarily be more aggressive, but like let's just talk about the things that really, really matter to us. Have those in-depth conversations. We'll still have some fun with some sports and different
Right.
things, but let's
yeah,
keep it, real. Let's get back to the culture. And that's the change that for me in 2026, that I feel is good, that I feel is needed. And you both talked on, mentally, health wise, and all of those things can all be incorporated in that change. So we're on the same page with that. But I also want to ask you guys too, though. Like, let's keep it real though. Come February though,
yeah,
we all find that this thing fades and wanes. So what do
yeah.
we need to do? And right, yeah, Cliff, you know what I'm saying. So what do we need to
Mm.
do though? Not only to hold each other accountable, but for those who are listening, who have goals and want to do things, like how do we fight that so that we don't wane and fade as we're moving along in 2026? And
Well,
anyone, you guys, you want to start?
shoot, I'll say first off, be realistic, right? Be
Mm, mm,
realistic with your goals, okay?
right.
And take baby step, Captain. If this is your first time really
Yeah,
want,
yeah.
if this is your first time really wanting to be consistent, and go through with what you plan to how you start your new year to how to keep it going, take steps. You know,
Right,
it's a marathon. It's a marathon.
for real, for real.
It's
Yeah.
not a
I
sprint.
love that.
So
Sarge?
that's the thing. Steps.
I'm notorious for backwards planning. And it goes kind of what Cliff was saying, like you have a goal. It's like, how am I going to achieve that goal? So you have to sit there and put little milestones in between, because it is a marathon. In marathons, we have
Yeah.
markers to indicate how far you went, right? So
Yep.
that's one of the things, and just making sure that you have a good support channel too. Um, as much as we have folks that come over there and you have people that hate on us and don't want us to succeed, but we do have folks that support us, all the
Yeah.
time. So, it doesn't hurt to lean on them, especially, even if your goals don't correlate with each other, it's
Yeah.
just good to have somebody in that corner. So if you are feeling sluggish or you are feeling down, like, you can still sit there and be able to, give them a phone call, get that pep talk to
Yeah.
get you back on that, on that grind again and everything. So I think that's critical too, because yeah, we move in silent, but everyone has a supporting cast, to get us
Right.
through what we need to.
Man, ain't that the truth? What's
That's
happening,
right.
Duck? What's good, man?
What's going on,
What's
Duck?
happening? Glad you here, man. Good to see you as always. And I'm gonna piggyback, because I think you guys kind of said it. It really gave me something to add to it. Put in it. Milestones. And Cliff, like what you said, taking baby steps. You
Hmm.
really have to add these things to your arsenal, especially when you're dealing with challenges, in your everyday life. We're being hit with so many different things and bombarded really with so much stuff through social media, TV, the news. So to take that step back, backward planning, take baby steps, and just hit those milestones and hit those mile markers, I think go a long way when you're moving forward. And it makes me want to transition really into when we look at the entertainment field, talking about milestones. And happy new year to you, brother. Glad to have you
Happy
here
New
with
Year.
us
New
as
Year,
always.
Duck.
And I want to transition because one of the things that we had talked about was hip hop, entertainment last year, and really how the for the first time, and we really, and it's wild when you really think about it. Not too long ago we were just celebrating 50 years of hip hop, right?
Hmm.
Grand celebration and things of that nature. But this is the first time ever that there's been no hip hop artist to make the Billboard Top 100. And I'm curious again. I really want to hear from you guys, and even from in the audience, like like what does that mean for the current state of hip hop, and what does that really mean, for hip hop moving forward? Are we going to see another 50 years, of hip hop? Because it seems like the greatness and the luster just kind of fell off the roadmap last year. And
Mhm.
Sarge, I'll start with you.
All right. Hey, look, I'll take this. This is easy. You know, um, well, will there be another 50 years of hip hop? The answer to me is yes. The
Okay.
question is, who's going to be in control of that narrative when it comes to hip hop? You think about the
Mm,
grassroots that hip hop originated from, um, and you look at where we at now, and it's more of there's a couple of things that I could peel the onion back on. One, um, there's no distinction between regions when it comes to hip hop, except for the West
mm,
Coast. I give the West Coast plenty of shout outs because they haven't changed since the 80s. But you look at everybody else, you have an artist that's from the South. Are they really from the South, or why they sounding like they're
mm,
from the East Coast to up north? Why do we
mm.
have northern rappers, sounding like they're from down south? Why do we have one person that comes up with one hit song, and then all your
Oh.
major labels going to sit there and do like a carbon copy of that one individual? So there's no more originality when it comes to hip hop. And
Mm,
like these are topics that's been spoken about for a long time. And
yeah.
I remember I have a friend that's in the industry, and she used to tell me all the time, like, basically we're old heads. We
Mm.
don't realize what the sound or the movement is,
Okay.
but
Okay.
like it's kind of challenging to relate to that when everyone, like, how can I get this buy-in when there's a little Fizz, little Trippy Red, little Busy Red, YMB, you know what I'm saying? There's like 15 YMBs with some type of alternative to it, but everything sounds the same. And then when we do have those hidden
Yeah.
gems, i.e., like the Clips coming out with their album last year, like they don't get the
Mm-hmm.
credit and the recognition that they deserve. Which I hope would change.
Agreed.
Come the Grammys this year, but
Right.
basically, once again, that's the past. So, it's all about like how far are these? Why aren't labels afraid to step outside the green? Now I know that it's a money grab, at the
Right.
end of the day, but you leaving a lot of artists, back in the wind and everything, which is a
So
disservice to
you
them.
know, but I gotta ask you too that at that point though, because like are labels really that impactful anymore? Because it seems like anybody, can grab a microphone and a camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can jump on
Yep.
Right,
wherever and stream.
right.
So, has that become something that's hurt the industry? Because I mean, as great as innovative as it is for you to be free to do what you want, but now, like you said, we getting every
I don't.
YMB this and that. Does
Yeah.
has that helped?
Well, I think if you continue in that space, then it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because you have that freedom. But it's once you get signed
Mm-hmm.
to someone that then you fall into that trap in that cycle. Because they could have a fire ass album that they're working on right now, and then they bring it to the board and everything, and they sit down, and then they sit here and, well, I want you to be like YMB Youngboy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He has a hot record. You know what I'm saying? He's selling millions, and
Mm.
like I think that has something to do with it. Also, you look at, we don't have any stories anymore when it comes to albums too, and I think that's just
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
Mm.
current
Mm.
That part.
Mm.
attention span that everyone has too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
I do like what Duck is saying right here, but just think about it. Like
Yep.
if we're on our phone and everything, we're looking at bits, right? And those bits are like,
Yep.
between 15 to 30 seconds or something like
30
that.
seconds. Yep.
That's kind of the
Yep.
same thing with the current music vibe too. Like I can't have a 4-minute song because people
Right.
might lose interest. So
Yeah.
let me go ahead and create this 2 minute and 15-second song with like 80% of it being the hook, and maybe have like one verse in there. So it's
Yeah.
it's all about like how I can grasp you right now.
And
Mm.
they made it a little easy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They made it
Right.
back in the day when we was younger. Say we wanted to get on. You couldn't tell me when I was younger, when I was in Hagerstown, Maryland, I wasn't gonna be a rapper or a singer. I was gonna be
Right.
something, right? But at that time, you
Right.
had to audition in front of labels. You had to drive somewhere far to try to get on. And when you got on, it was like you. It was rare. It's like getting drafted
yeah,
into
Mm.
the league somewhere, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
You don't really, a label will help, but you don't really need
Right.
a label now. All I need is my
right,
Right.
computer, my phone, some clicks, some views, get close to 500,000 to a million views, and I'm good. What do I need the
yeah,
label
You know,
for?
yeah,
so like I like even with Duck saying like Tyler the Creator was always a great artist, but because of who he was, a lot of people don't want to give him a chance, and that's definitely a perspective. I think you know from sometimes where you're from, what you vibe to, what you don't vibe to, and not really understanding creativity and the art
mm,
behind it. I do think some
yeah,
get lopped off or put to the side. But Cliff, you just
mm,
mentioned something like to me that makes me want to ask though, because it's like the industry chases trends, right? And
right,
by the industry chasing these trends though, did the industry really stop supporting the artistry? Because like you said back in the day, you had to go really perform for a label to get on. But like now, does it seem
mm-hmm,
like that has stopped where like you're not really supporting the artistry, you're really looking for a trend, a one-hit wonder. And is that why we're kind of in the flux or the state of hip-hop that we're in now? Where, like I said, seems like it's on a decline after 50 years of peak. Now we're like it's well on this
right,
backslide.
mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all one question. Who, what rappers out there, hip hop or R&B, you could say they are
Mm-hmm.
ahead of their time? Remember back in the day when
Now,
Lauren Hill was out, Nas was out?
Now,
Yeah.
yeah,
You would say,
yeah,
yo, they're ahead of their time. Big. Big was ahead of his time because they still rock it now. You put a big
right.
album on now, you're going to feel it.
right,
Who's out now that you're going to say, listen, they're ahead of their time?
So
20 years from
honestly,
now.
I gotta agree with Sam. Like he said, like just what the Clips have done, you know, in this most
The
recent
clips.
piece of work,
Yeah.
right? Like to
Yeah.
me, that's something that I had to stand up and really listen to. Because like when I first heard it, I was
But the
like, wait a
clips is
minute,
not
man.
new.
Again, not to put they're not, but to me, I think they were always boxed, kind of like a Tyler the Creator type thing. I think they were boxed, but like now, like really,
Yeah.
the way that they came out swinging and banging, like I really had to pay attention to them now and really listen, and then go back because I went back and started listening to some of their older work, and I was like, yo, damn, they kind of been getting down like this for a minute. But again, though,
Been
I think
doing
they
it.
were just boxed. You know what I'm saying? They've
Right.
been doing it, but I think they were
Well,
boxing again. Though, is that an industry thing, or is that
it
just
is an
us?
industry thing. No,
Okay.
it's an
Hmm.
industry. Well, and on top of that, it does have something to do with us because it's us trying to take care of us, which we're not doing that either.
Hmm.
Because that's why you have
Okay.
a lot of artists burnt at these damn 360 deals and everything too.
Hmm.
And then they tend to crash and burn. And I was just thinking about what you said right there, Cliff, because you know, even when you think about hip hop and R&B, where samples come in, from the jazz doo wop era, maybe a little rock and roll and everything. And even in
Hmm.
present time, like they're trying to do that. Perfect example. And this is no shade. So if there are any Stallion fans out there, I'm sorry. But once again,
It's okay.
these are my views, and I'm gonna sit here and
Right.
express them. She did a remix to Total Kissing You, right?
Sure did. Sure
Um,
did. Yep.
and to me, my wife loves it. God bless her. It is what it is.
I'm with you.
The song is
Say it. I'm
trash.
with you.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
with you.
The
I'm
song
with you.
is garbage because
I'm
you
with
think
you.
about the lyrics from the total version of it and where it's
Hmm.
at. And Megan says something like, "If you love your man, bust it down for your baby" or some shit like that. And I'm like, what the
What?
Wait a
hey,
minute.
how we hey, it's like how we go from you're my pride and joy, you're my baby boy,
Baby boy. Right.
to if you love your man, bust it down for your baby. And I was just like, you
Yeah.
listen,
Wow.
and it's another track out there too, but because of how cadences are nowadays, and don't get me wrong, like I used to be, back in my heydays, I was a
Hmm.
songwriter, I was a performer, I went down to Jive Records a couple of times. I ran the Chitlin circuit a little bit down there in Texas and everything, so I know about going on the stage, performing, working in the studio. Like it was a true grind, you know.
Right.
Um, and I just think like it is easy now because everything is with a click of a key. We have AI
Yeah.
generated artists now.
Keep it
You know
real.
what I'm saying?
Keep it real.
You
It's
just
crazy.
put in
Crazy.
a theme or a dairy, and it's just like create this song for me, and it's like
Yeah.
voila. And speaking of which, this AI artist is nominated for a goddamn Grammy too.
Yeah.
So think
Is
about
that you
that.
talking about that? Ain't that Dre? That's Dre's artist, ain't it? The one that he
Gotta
created,
pack that
right?
up. Pack
Yeah.
that up.
Yeah, yeah,
You gotta
right.
pack that up.
Gotta
Like
go,
that kid Leo,
man.
take that.
It's,
Pack that up,
hey,
son.
man,
You
it's
gotta pack
crazy,
that
man.
up,
Pack that.
son.
It's garbage,
That's
man. It's
crazy
it's
work.
straight garbage.
So
It is. It is.
it's a trend. It's an unfortunate trend too, and like we're so quick for the easy grab. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We'll let these companies like, the hell with our feelings and the hell with our creativity. If they have a direction and they throw a little change and you don't even know what kind of rabbit hole that you even putting yourself into, hence
Yeah.
the 360 deal. Like you're not reaping any of those benefits. And that's what happened to a lot of artists because they're so quick for the sell. They're not doing their research on the deal. They're just
Yeah.
like, hey, I done signed with XYZ label. They get what they need to, and then we don't hear from them again. Or if we hear from them again because they don't have that camp behind them, you know, now you see what their talent is, which really wasn't
Yeah.
anything to begin with.
To begin with,
Mm.
and
You
you
know what
know
I'm
that
saying?
makes me want to ask too, and not to cut you, but it leads to a thing too where I'm curious to know because like we're talking about you said something that was really key. Like we're looking at how we feel, right, and what
Yeah,
we want. But when we
yeah.
as the community, like how do you feel? And Clip, I'm gonna ask you this: like when artists speak on real issues, especially in today's climate, because I mean that's probably the hardest thing. I think any human being, like speaking on real issues and topics, you know, should artists be celebrated more for doing that, or because it's such a risky climate, should they kind of stay in their box and protect their brand. Because I think that's really an issue too. Because that when I heard Sam say it, I was like, damn, he is right. Because a lot of times now I find myself sometimes being more protective of my thoughts and what I care about. But so many other people and these artists, like we're talking about, some of them go out of their way and risk their brands really to talk about things that most of us might not. How do you feel about that, Cliff?
That's the thing. Us as a community, as a culture, we want to support as a culture instead of having your own individual take on it, right?
Mm,
Look at Snoop. Snoop performed in the White House, and boy, he
okay.
caught hell for
Oh
it,
boy, he
right?
caught he caught the
Uh,
business, right?
Nelly did the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your girl Nicki Minaj, she went
Woo,
on there and wilded out,
woo,
right? I don't know if she
woo.
forgot what culture she was in. I don't know, but
Right.
Yeah.
the next day it was like, oh, Nicki Minaj lost 10 million followers
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because of 20 minutes of showtime that she performed
Yeah.
on the show, giving her views.
Right.
Was
Right.
that I mean, everybody should have their own different. Everybody has their own different opinion. If she said the right thing, she said the wrong thing, but they don't expect you to talk about a view that you feel from your heart or from your research. They want you to
Mm,
talk that supports the culture. So now you're
mm,
on that platform. What are you going to do? Right? Are you
right.
going to talk to support the culture, or you want to keep it a buck on how you feel? Right? Because
Mm,
everybody's not going to
mm,
feel or think the same. But when you're on
mm-hmm.
that plateau, it's like you no longer have your own freedom to say or feel how you want to feel. You are now,
Mm,
in a way, you're kind of controlled. Like in insurance
mm,
world, when you work for a company that you can't sell other products from other companies, you can't do how you feel. They call it captive, right? So
mm,
now,
mm,
if you're a hip hop star, if you're a star, period, and you on the show, you're kind of captive because can I say what I really feel? What's going to happen? Am I
mm,
going to wake up and
mm,
lose 10 million followers? You know what I
right.
mean? And
Right.
I don't know what that equals to up in money. But if you lose 10 million followers and just say that's $10 million, a brother like me, I'm sick right now. you know, I'm sick. So it's what do you do? You know?
Right. Nah,
Oh
that's real. Well, what you say, Sam? Because I'm the same way. Like, I know even doing
well,
this, man. Two mics of protecting your brand and all of that, but there has to
right.
be some realness and authenticity, and what it is that you're presenting, what you're talking about. Uh, and I do understand the side of being safe, but like, are you as a person really wrong though for sharing and expressing their thoughts, even if they're different than yours and you don't agree with?
No, I mean, by all means, I've been in a culture that everybody has different point of views, come from various
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
and just as long as we get the job done, then it is what it is at that point.
Right.
Um, but with that being said, I will say two things. One, don't never forget the people who got you to where you are, and then
Okay.
Facts.
the second thing is it will be one thing if Snoop, Nicki, Nelly, like if they stood on that type of business from the get-go. But a
Mm.
couple of years ago, Snoop was cussing out Trump in a tirade on IG or something like that,
Mm,
going off about
mm,
him, complaining or not complaining, but chastising people who voted for Trump the previous
mhm,
election. And now
mhm,
look where we at. And I just blame
mm.
that on the tax bracket that he's done got himself in, because once he signed that deal with NBC, he done start making his money was a little bit longer.
His money looks different, yeah.
And if we look at the current, like when you look at how taxes are set up and everything, they are for the wealthy if you have more zeros than the commoners and everything.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, Nicki Minaj is a whole different story, man. Because I mean, I, I really think that if I'm keeping it, but like if I'm being honest, like she's really just doing this because she's trying to get a pardon for a certain somebody. I ain't gonna say them
Okay,
names, but he
Mm.
had to get
okay.
registered in
'Cause
two
That that
different
that that
Mm.
states.
whole that whole
That's all
situation
that
spoke
that
loud
is.
and clear to me. I
Yeah,
I agree with you. I
yeah.
agree with you.
That That's all that
Yeah,
is right there. And if anybody know
Yeah.
anything different, if you're in the chat, please go ahead and reach out to us and let us know. But there's a
please.
motive behind that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it resonates a little bit differently, and it's a little disheartening when you think about it because I think it goes beyond the culture. It's just like stand on business. You was this
Mm,
firm before, what
right.
made you flop now? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Which we
Right.
know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just like Snoop wearing red during Christmas. We know you bang blue. Like that felt weird to me. You know what I'm saying?
He was a little
He
uncomfortable. It was.
yeah,
He had to
he
had
had
to
to
play it
host
back
this.
like, yo, wait a minute, what?
Hey, look, he had all of Oakland like or Compton or whatever. Like you need to come see us. Like they,
Yeah.
but once again, you start making
The
that
real
money. You
talk.
you you, you do these changes and things. Of course they see things in a different lens, but you had those who
Right.
was rocking with them for so long, like it hurts because
Right.
you think that like he's supporting us. They're
Yeah.
supporting the common folks. You know, Nikki came over there and just did away with a whole community that was based off of
Okay.
her whole hip hop career.
Yeah.
With the
Right. Right.
LGBTQ community and
Killed
everything.
killed all of
With
that.
that turning
Yeah.
point discussion. So
Yeah.
like once again, these names resonate. So that's how she lost 10 million, fans and
Followers.
everything, or some
Yeah.
followers and
Mm.
everything, was because of how she displaying herself now. She didn't stand on that business before, but she needed a little something.
Mhm.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Listen,
unfortunately, we're in a climate that if your money is right, you could get these things done, which is, very unfortunate and everything.
it is very
But that's a
unfortunate.
different
And
topic
and
for
to
another time.
no, you're right. And I will say this, and it's great that we're having this conversation, entertainers, brands, and things. But I do believe, and I want to say this, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, that people say. And there's a lot of things that uh, I have to sit back and be like, huh? What? But
Hmm.
I will say, when we look at some of the things that have happened with some people, I do believe that no one deserves to die for
Right.
voicing their opinion, no matter
Yeah.
Right.
how
Facts.
divergent of mine and how, in my opinion, it may be out of this fucking world. No one deserves to lose their life. And, I think people need to take a pause. And I want to say this too, mental health, we've come to realize is a very real thing. Today's world, we live in a very sensitive climate. So I do try to do my best to think before I speak, and think about what I'm saying, because how it may be insensitive or even agitate some other people, because that's not how I came up though. My age group and my generation, we really didn't give a fuck about how you felt. So I'm
Yeah. We
learning, and
just
like I
say
said, change. Right,
it.
you just say it, right? So I'm
Just
just
say
throwing
it.
it out there because this part of this change is good, and everything that we've talked about so far. But speaking on a lot of what we spoke about with entertainment and hip hop, and really the slight fall, if you will, no number one, in the top 100, and we talk about culture and community. You know, we also have the support and the struggles, and then there's the hustle game, right? And we say we support small black businesses. Let's just keep it real. But I have to ask you both, and Cliff, I want to start with you as an entrepreneur and a business owner. Do we really, as a culture and a community, support small black businesses?
I think we want to, right? I think a thousand
Operative word,
percent.
we want to, right?
Yeah. I think we want to, right? And we
Mm,
set ourselves up to, right?
mm,
That's what we're going to do. But
mm,
for some reason, I don't know why. As soon as we walk into that business establishment, or if you're dealing on the phone or supporting a minority business or a black business online, you feel there should be an extra discount button to hit on the
mm.
side, or
Speak on
you
that, bro.
or you feel you should get a special discount just because y'all are the same nationality, right? When
Mm.
you're not going to go into those big box stores and demand the same discount, right?
Speak
You're
on
going
it.
to call
Speak
me
on it.
as a insurance broker. Hey, Cliff, I need car insurance and I need the best price. No, I want to give you the worst price. You know, why
Right.
wouldn't I want to give you why wouldn't I want to give you the best price? Right?
Right.
I don't want to pay a whole lot. I don't want you to pay a whole lot, you know? So I give you my quote, you saying it's too expensive. And I've been in the
Mm,
game now for a while that I'm very, very confident in my rates. So if you feel my rate is too high, I'll be like, okay, go shop around and then because
mhm.
let me tell you something. I'm on a good percentage that you're gonna come back, right?
Right.
Because I know I put myself in the client's shoes when I'm getting rates. I'm not thinking
Mhm.
about all right capital. I'm putting myself in
Right.
their shoes because that's what I became a broker for to support my community, right? To be that
Right.
middleman. So when you feel that my rate is too high, but you don't want to come back to me because you feel like you got to eat crow and you go ahead and support that big box retailer that you're paying the same amount or $10 more. I'm
Right.
like, why?
Right.
Why did you put yourself through all that? Why did you go through all of that when you could have just supported the culture like you wanted to,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because you felt I didn't give an extra lookout. Now you don't want to you don't want to purchase from me. You don't want to support me.
Crazy.
You're gonna go there
It's
and pay more.
crazy.
So for some reason, it's that discount button, whether it's invisible or they feel it should be big, that they just
It's
feel they should
expected.
get it and automatically.
It, it's
Yeah,
ex- it's
yeah,
expected, bro. And Sam, I wanna ask you, like, listening to that, and you know, you've traveled and you've seen a lot of things, and you've dealt with many different cultures and backgrounds and things like that. But you know, for our community in this conversation of what we're talking about, like,
Yeah.
and listening to what Cliff was just saying, like, what do you think it'll take? Honestly, and I don't even know if it's possible because I've questioned this for a long time. But what would it take for us to shift our mindset and what Cliff was just saying and really get out there and support, small black businesses, um, and really invest consistently, into them the same way, you do, we see our community, whether it be Red Bottoms or Gucci and Prada, whatever it may be, we'll do that for those brands, but we don't do that for our own consistently. What do you think it'll take for that mind shift to actually kick in and take hold?
Uh, Exposure, awareness.
Mm,
mm,
I think
mm,
those are key things because some of these creators don't even have the opportunity to sit here and have a particular platform to um, kind of like broadcast and get their brand or their label out there. Um, and with that being said, like quality thing come into mind too. Um, when you sit here and you just like, for one, I know a lot of black owned businesses.
mhm.
And I ask for a discount all the time, but that's because I ask for a military discount, not because of rent discount. But
well, that's different. That's different, fam. No, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's
I just had,
different.
I just
Absolutely.
had to
I
I just
respect
have to
it.
throw that in there.
Maybe I should put a
Um,
disclaimer. This does not
yeah,
pertain
no,
to
no, no, no,
my
no,
military
no. But
people at all. You're
no,
absolutely right.
I think. But with that being said, like I think quality is I just have to throw that out there. But I think quality is quality. So
Right.
like so many people some people want to be a self-starter and get into this business, but they got to do the research on their own too to
Yeah.
make sure that they can compete against the Red Bottoms and
Hmm.
the Gucci and a lot of these brand labels. I think that's some of the problems is like we sit here and I slap a sketch on a damn t-shirt and now all of a sudden I want $40 for this tee, but I don't know who the hell
Right.
I don't know who you are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm looking at the back and it got Hanes on the back of it or something like that. So and it's no knock. It's no knock if you're trying to come up that way, because by all means you got to get your bread however you
How you
can.
have to get it?
But
Yep.
at the same time, you got to evolve with it too. Feel
Right.
that quality, feel that thread count. If I toss this in the wash, is it going to shrink on me, or is the
Right.
lettering going to peel off or something like that? So
Right.
make sure that you invest as much in that brand as you want people to invest. Coming out their wallets, to donate
Hmm.
to the cause.
Right.
Um, I do my due diligence when it comes to, because like I said, I know a lot of small brands, so I do my due diligence when I see them. I support them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because you know I like you said, to be an injustice if I go to Target or Wally World and I spend the same money, or if I
Right,
go to Tyson's
right.
Corner or something like that and spend that same money, and but I'm not giving back to my own community. So I think it's
I,
kind of like a twofold thing right there. Like the more, just make sure that you I don't want to say you legit, but if you go to have like those high dollar, if you're asking high
yeah,
dollar for your
legitimize
product, just make
yourself to
sure
be
like
that.
it's yeah,
Yeah,
make sure it's a quality product to make people
Facts.
want to spend that money, and then it becomes word of mouth. If you don't
true,
have like a
true,
social media presence or something like that,
true.
because I'm aware it. What I'm saying, I'm a rocket, and somebody's going to be like, "Hey, where did you get that
Where'd
from?"
you get it
And
from?
then that's how,
Right.
yeah, that's how you start that buzz and that collective and everything. So,
So to that point though, because then there's the flip side. This is the side that I think I hate the most and irritates me the most.
mhm,
You have a brand out here that, like you say, is trying to come up, trying to educate himself or herself, trying to legitimize the brand, this, that, and the third. And when you're a small startup, a lot of times you can't be everywhere and everything, and things happen.
yeah,
But what we do is you get a bad experience or have a
mhm,
bad outcome with an item or something that you may have ordered online or whatever. The first thing we do, and I think, and this irritates me across the board. Yeah, you know where the hell I'm going, right? We will look. I'm just gonna say, well, we will fuck that business into the ground
mhm,
by posting on
mhm.
everywhere we can post, other than picking up the damn phone or sending an
Mhm,
email saying, "Hey, can someone reach out to me? I had a bad experience," and educate that owner on what your experience was and give them an opportunity to fix it. Because I'll be
yeah,
damned, you don't do that to these other big box stores. You'll still go back to Target when Target has fucked up your order 10 times. You're not
right,
complaining to Target. You just go back inside and you deal with it and you go get another one. But if it's a small black business owner, you shit on them as soon as it happens, and that
They
irritates
mad.
me.
They
And
mad.
yo, but like how do we fix that? Because that to me is the other side of this. Because we'll never succeed if this is the rate and this is the pace that we're going in. And I want to continue to be positive, because then let me add on to that. As soon as that happens though, and then or you go get a white business, let's say, to support you, then now you're a sellout.
yeah,
But then your black businesses are
Mm.
not coming to your aid either. Oh
no,
yeah, I like what you do. Oh hey, can you give me a discount? But when I'm asking you to support or do whatever, you tear me down. But then when I get a white business owner, now I'm a sellout. Like it makes no sense to me, and this is what irritates me with our culture and our community. Like, how do we get over that? Because like that's one of the things that really eat me up inside. And I've been trying to figure out what more can you do or what more can I do as a business owner. And Cliff, I'm curious to hear from you, because I'm like you said, I know you probably had that experience dealing with our own. So like, what has it been, or what has it been like for you, and how have you tried? Please help educate me, as we've been talking on, like, change is good. I want to change. Like, help me with that mindset.
Oh, it comes down to a question because you're making me think. Oh, you don't have that size? You don't have that? See, that's what I mean. I'm trying to support
mhm,
black businesses, and you ain't got the XL. All right,
Right.
but if you go to one store, they ain't got it. You're gonna drive down to the next store, or you're gonna
Hmm.
let them send you the order online. I could do the same
Right.
thing, but I
Right.
just tell you, it's that privilege, it's that
Right.
hashtag privilege that they expect to have. But
Right.
how to fix it? It's
Yeah.
what is the reason that they want to support you, right?
Mm.
And you, as a business owner, you can't ask the customer like, why do you really want to support me? So I guess you just have to have it in a normal conversation. Like when you're going to a minority small business, right, or black small
Hmm.
business, why are you supporting them? Is it because you think
Mm.
you're going to get the best hookup on that product? Do you
Mm.
really care about that business owner, and this is the means of them how they feed their family, right? So
Hmm.
you want to support that. What is your main reason of support?
Mm.
Because to me it's one or two things. You want to back up that business to watch them flourish and grow, or you really
Right.
just coming in to look up for a hookup that you expect to get
Cheers.
that you
Yeah.
wouldn't anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to
So
fix it is
valid,
just
valid point.
just just to build the value. Like, what is your purpose? What is your reason?
Mm.
And then
Look,
you
I
got to
can
go
dig with
from
that.
there.
I can dig that. That's real talk. And it makes me also think because then you know you know what's the word, legacy. And
Mm,
Sam, I'll start with you, and I'll let Cliff close out the segment. But I want to start with you, like building a legacy. Like what, like how do we do that? Or what does that potentially look like for us in the Black community? Because I've heard stories of so many other Black business owners who have their own businesses, but when you hear their kids talk, they don't want to take part in it. They don't want anything to do with it. Um, so what do we do and how do we build legacy, for our kids and for our community's future, in your opinion, moving forward?
I don't. That's tough with today's kids
Mm,
because they don't want the work, but they want to reap the benefits
mm,
from the work that we put in ourselves and the grind that we put in ourselves and everything. Um, I don't. I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that.
okay.
Um, just for the fact that I mean, if you establish something and there's growth behind it, um, you're initiating that legacy and everything. But how do you carry it forward? I guess just making sure that it's maintained in a positive light.
Hmm.
Um, make sure that, as much as you receive, you're out there giving back to your community and everything as well. And sometimes it might not be your kids that sit here and inherit that legacy. Maybe it's somebody who you aspire to get into that space. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I want to carry that legacy for
mhm,
you. So just as long as they can maintain the traditions and standards and quality that you brought to it, you know what I'm saying, is just passing that knowledge, to the next person to make sure that it
yeah,
flourishes. Maybe it might not even have your name or moniker to it, but it
mm,
gives a new brand, but
mm,
the same feel that you had before. So I think that's how you sit
yeah.
there and you retain it.
Man, that's why I love these conversations, man. It gave me a whole new
mm.
perspective, on that. And Cliff, I want you to close it out because I know you are building your legacy. You have TD3, but then there's the
Yeah.
whole TD3 foundation. That extends.
Mhm,
You and your wife, and having a son.
mhm.
So I'm curious to hear your perspective on legacy building.
That's unfortunate. I got a 22-year-old, and to
Mhm.
Sam's point, when he's like the generation is different, it sure is, right?
Mm,
This generation, my son is 22 years old. He's already setting an action plan how he could retire in his 30s and 40s,
mm,
right?
mm, mm, mhm.
When we was trained that, at 65,
Work.
that's
Hmm.
that's when
That's
it's
the
a
magic
wrap.
number.
So right, yeah, absolutely, 65, right? One thing that I did is that I made sure that my actions spoke louder than words,
Mm,
right?
mhm.
So when my son been watching me from, I mean, a baby, right? He see me in the cell phone world, right? I was
Right.
in the cell phone industry for what, 15, 16 years before I got into insurance. He watched that retail grind, but he
Mhm.
saw that I had the passion for the type of business that I was in at that time. And it didn't stop nothing. I was in retail. I was still going to my son's school, bringing him lunch, going on his field trips, rocking a retail schedule because some things is not his fault, right?
Yeah.
It's up
Yeah.
to me to make that difference. It's up to me to lead by example. And
Right.
what he always saw that his dad did whatever he had to do, but he didn't mind doing it, and he made it fun somehow. So that
Mhm.
made him want to do it. 2 years
Right.
later, he was working for T-Mobile, killing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Using the same skills and everything that I didn't even have to teach him. He just
Mm.
developed it for watching. So I used myself as the role model. I didn't leave it
Mm.
up to Lil Wayne, LeBron, Lil Baby. I didn't leave it up to them
Mhm.
to
Right.
be the role model for my son. Nah, he's gonna watch me. That's one thing
Mm,
I can control, right? You
right.
control your controllables. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Fast forward
Yeah.
into insurance. He saw me get into insurance, and he saw me get into an industry that I love doing. So he started looking into it. Heck, he even wanted to join me. He even joined me and worked with me for a little
Right.
bit, like as an intern, until it was Martin Luther King's birthday, and I had to get some projects done. So I made him come in the office with me, and he just like, I'm supposed to be off, and then he quit because he just know Martin Luther King. You supposed to get off. I was like, listen, I feel you. But Martin Luther King made it this made
This
made
part,
this
right.
happen so your dad can go to the office freely and create some
Right.
things for his own business.
Right.
But fast
Right.
forward, what had led him to do, like my son's at Capital One. He got his
Hmm.
financial literacy
That's what's up.
certificate. He wants to be a realtor. He has his own plan set, and I didn't have to
Right.
write it out for him.
I
But
love
Yeah.
that.
from him watching me for over the years, that's what did it. So that's the only thing that I can, suggest to
Hmm.
other fathers, mothers is that you take control of being that person for your children to follow, because they're gonna look to
I love that.
somebody,
Right.
right?
Look, like
They're
look
they're
at the end.
gonna
Like you
look to
said,
somebody.
be the example. Be that actual example. This is real
That's
life, something that they see every, not even something. This is what they see every day, all day. So be that example. And I love that, man. And I appreciate you, Devin, because I got all new perspectives on, and just listening to both of you is a great way to close out that segment. And while we transition, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you what, for those of you watching, thank you for watching. Make sure you go ahead and you hit that like and subscribe button, and follow us, and share two mics up with everyone else, man. We really appreciate you. But now we're gonna get into a little sports. We gonna cover the entertainment and the community and the culture. We're gonna go ahead and jump in to a little more sports feel. Uh and what up? I can't see
Antoine.
your name. What's happening,
It's
bruh? My
Antoine.
man
What's
AJ,
going
man.
on?
Yeah,
My
appreciate you,
my
fam. Appreciate
Hey,
you.
look, same thing, Swan. I appreciate you. Hey, man, I want to apologize to you, bro. I showed up a day early, on the wrong day to get my joint taken care of, and you still took care of me. That's my stylist, my barber. That's my man. I appreciate you, Twan. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Hey, look, wait,
Um,
Man.
wait, time out, time out, time out, time out. Before y'all sit here and y'all over here showing y'all hairlines and shit. I'm not.
hey, look. Hey, no disrespect, bro.
Wait, hold on.
Hey.
It is disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I got Cliff over here, like filling himself out and everything. I ain't taking my hat off. Screw you guys. I'm
Hey,
not taking my hat
no,
off.
no disrespect, bro. No disrespect
No,
at all.
I'm offended.
Hey, so,
AJ, I'm offended for
hey,
you for giving them these illustrious haircuts. There, I said it. Got it off
hey,
my chest. Keep it
hey,
moving.
look, I ain't gonna lie. Antoine been my man, yo. I've been down here 20
Oh
plus
man.
years, man. Been going to this brother. I done followed this brother everywhere he went. I mean, the brother even let me come to his house, to get. I appreciate this brother, man. He a real guy, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do something that I wouldn't normally do to him. But since my Giants ain't got shit to do with nothing, go Eagles, man. You guys are still fighting, man. Philly, stand up. I appreciate y'all. We gonna get into that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, looking good. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I
Hey,
couldn't do
look, you
this
ain't
without
got
you.
you ain't gotta gas me up, AJ. It's all right. He, he said hat or not. You ain't gotta gas me up. I'm still offended.
It's all
Antoine, you know
good.
I got love for you. My brother Dame, he got a lot of love for you. I got love for you too. I'm
Hey,
never gonna say go Eagles.
hey,
No,
hey,
Not
look,
after you
man.
took it.
that that
Hey,
was blasphemy. You know you got other Giant fans in your chat too, and you
yeah,
just
it's
said that.
okay. Hey, I know. And
Okay,
look, I'm built for the smoke.
That's the love
I
he
know what
got for his
okay.
barber.
I,
You know what I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying. I know. Look,
Hey,
priorities,
look,
bro. You understand what I'm
I can love
saying?
my barber all I want. I ain't gonna sit here and rep another goddamn team, especially in my
Nah, to the
division.
nah.
Listen here, listen here, listen here. You can rep Pee Wee football all you want until we get a grown man's football team. I I can't even do the Jets. Fuck that. Man, Buffalo, go
Nah.
Buffalo. I'll take anybody right now, bro. Terrible. It's just terrible.
That's funny, man. That is
Yeah,
funny.
but it's real talk though, man. All in good jest, all in having fun. But let's transition to college football, man. We finally down to the final four.
Mm.
Coming up. And it's been tough, man. And I think Sam and you and I talked about it. We got Miami taking on Ole Miss and Oregon taking
Mm-hmm.
on Indiana. And I think in the chat we were in, I said it, man. I think this year is about take the trend. I think the teams that were trendy this year are not, it's not the establishment. Obviously, at the teams that we're looking at outside of maybe Oregon, and it's been a while since Oregon has kind of been even in this conversation. Same goes for Miami, but they're trendy. And I'm curious to know from you guys, and I'll start with you Sam. When
Okay.
you look at these two matchups, what are you expecting to see? Is there a power shift or a balance that you may see from one team to the other? And who are your two picks to make it to the finals?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, first, I'm picking Indiana between Oregon and doggone Indiana for that side.
Okay.
Indiana is just nasty, both offensively and defensively. They're
Mm-hmm.
well tuned, well oiled, well coached, disciplined. So I ain't got no quarrels with them. Um, when you look at the other side, it becomes a little bit more challenging, just
Mm-hmm.
because like Miami's on a roll right now. Like, don't get me
What?
wrong, Carson Beck done
What?
came in and
Yeah.
smacked it and flipped it, and like
Yeah.
they are. We got Michael Irvin coked out of his mind on the sidelines, doing the downward dog and everything. He doing some explicit shit on
Yo,
that sidelines, man.
yo,
Let's be
cocaine,
clear with that.
cocaine,
He
hell
did
of a
up
drug.
downs
But
for 30 minutes. I saw that old
yeah,
man do up downs for 30 minutes. I said, what is he
Cocaine is a
doing?
hell of a drug, bro. Cocaine is a hell of a
I
drug,
want to,
man.
I want to pick Ole Miss, but like Lane did Ole Miss dirty.
Dirty. He did
You
him
know what
dirty.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
He done came over here, hijacked this whole coaching team. I mean, I think they still got the running back coach and
Yeah.
the offensive coordinator
And he got
still
his
there,
bonus he got his bonus while they won.
and
I
he's
mean,
going
it's
to
crazy.
continue to get bonuses too.
Bonuses. Yep.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
the crazy part about it. Like the team is Ole Miss is on the cusp of making
Yeah.
history because they haven't
Yep.
been this relevant and Lord knows how long. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I
Yeah.
think the way that Lane kind of like exfilled his doggone coaching staff down there, that's kind of putting them in the bind. So I'm gonna lean on the U very
Yeah.
lightly, but I think it's going to be the U versus Indiana when it comes to that
I like that.
for the
What
championship game.
the championship game? What say you, Cliff?
Yes.
What you leaning with?
Yeah, definitely Indiana. I mean, I see Indiana taking the whole thing. I really do.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
for the way that they're playing. And I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. I understand
Mm.
all the term, everything that's going on right now. However, I got a lot of confidence in Chambers.
Mm.
I did
Okay.
I did some research on him from when he was in D2 before he
Mm-hmm.
transferred to Ole Miss. And
Mm.
his confidence is on a high level.
Right.
I don't no fear. No fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm around with. I want to see
Hey.
it's going to be Ole Miss and Indiana.
I like what both you say, and see, like I said in the chat, I'm with trends this year. And I'm looking for the trend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the U and Oregon to be in the final. I
Nuts.
love.
Wait,
I'm telling you. I'm just. Look. I'm
I want
following
to know.
trends this year.
Tell me how you got to Oregon.
You know what? Because nobody's talking about them. And when I say that, this year's about those teams. The U. When we looked at the playoffs, first of all, people were hooting and hollering about how Notre Dame didn't get in and Miami did. Right? Miami is
Right.
showing you why they deserve to be in. Oregon is that team that for years they peaked, they valley, and this year was one of those years. I think this was one of the most balanced Oregon teams that I've seen on all three levels of play. They have
Okay.
so much energy, they're electric on both sides, but they're not being talked about. And I'm just going to be honest, because of Indiana. Indiana has, I don't care who you are, you tell me that you saw Indiana as the number one
No,
team.
no, nobody
I
did.
No,
did
and
not.
And even last year, with the work that they've done and that they put in, I challenge anybody. And this is like a Cinderella story. It's great. It's great for college football. But I'm a transit. I'm just one of those guys. We got away with the old guard. We don't have the Ohio States. We don't have the Alabamas. We don't have the Clemens. This year is one of those years. It's like a magical ride, but a magical ride for a team that Indiana that they're riding to the top, but they're going to be heartbroken at the altar. And it's going to be by a team from past glory that's going to be so coked up with with Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis out there giving us the bird and coming through. I'm telling you, this is like the perfect scenario for Miami and Oregon to battle it out in the championship game. And I'm going with Miami because to me, Miami is the trend this year. People bucked and squawked about them all year long, but I think that Beck and the whole team, man, they're talented, and I just think they got this dog in them, this fight in them. That they're going to come out triumphant. And that's just my opinion. I've been wrong before. I have no problem with being wrong, but I'm bucking trend, and I'm taking those two.
Well, listen, my FanDuel hopes that you're wrong. Because I think that's going to be a great. If you on FanDuel and you roll with Ole Miss, roll with your boy. It's going to be a beautiful night. I promise you.
Hey, look,
roll
like
with Ole Miss on your FanDuel.
I mean, just so I'm clear, didn't Indiana already beat Oregon?
Again, you learn from your past mistakes.
Wait, hold on. Didn't Indiana beat Ohio State twice?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure that we have all of this.
We do.
This information.
Look, we're going to come back to this when the finals happen. I'm going to cut this segment out and I'm going to edit this and play it back.
Yeah. Indiana's not James Madison or Texas Tech.
Hold on.
But Indiana,
actually, Indiana is.
They are. Because the coach
if you're being honest.
I'm sorry.
Oregon. I think it's going to be a great rematch. In the final
Oregon went up against a really good defense with Texas Tech. They just had no offense to sit there and capitalize off of it.
They had no offense.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think it is going to be it's going to be a good game. But I feel like when you look bar to bar, you know what I'm saying? Indy just got these weapons, but they run in their passing game and they Heisman winner.
You got to open up the wrapper. Sometimes those bars are broken, bro. Sometimes those bars are broken.
Okay.
And, you got to open up the wrapper. I'm sorry, bro.
All right. Look. Indiana is a perfectly intact Kit Kat bar when you peel it out the goddamn wrapper. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. It's like Christmas because you open it up, there ain't no broken edges and everything. That's Indiana. Okay. So
we're gonna come back.
I look forward to revisiting this in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're having fun with it though, and honestly, spinning it a little bit further, and again, I'm talking about bucking trends and just talking about change. But I'm curious, do you guys again? This is 2 years in a row with Indiana and things like that. But are we looking at a power shift or a change within college football? We got Ole Miss, showing up, Indiana, and the teams that have kind of showed James Madison. Are we starting to look at a shift in the narrative of college football, or does it return kind of to that stagnant status quo where we start going back and we're looking at the Alabamas and the Ohio States and all of those things moving forward? I see
you're right. It's a shift.
Okay.
Two things. Two things moving forward. One, we're moving to a 16-team format when it comes to the playoffs. Yeah. The only exception is that they need to work out on whether or not your top 4 teams deserve a bye, which I think that they don't because all top 4 teams lost. Well, no, 3 out of the 4. 3 out of the 4 lost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4 lost. So, is that bye really necessary? Because when you look at the latter seeds, there's just going to be a tune-up anyway. 2, I think the biggest thing that's keeping the playoffs healthy is the NIL, because as soon as you don't make it, they're up and leaving and jumping ship to another team that they feel has the potential to be in the playoffs, to make it to the playoffs, not just the bowl game or the playoffs. Last thing, before I give it back to y'all, you said something about Notre Dame. For me, I don't think Notre Dame, and I got pissed off when I saw this, is that moving forward, there's a clause that, if they do move to the 16-team format that they're going to be
Yeah,
automatically
automatic
like
slot,
tied
yeah.
in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
slotted. I don't think that should be the case.
I agree.
I don't like independent teams. You know what I'm saying? And I still
Mhm.
try to figure out like how Notre Dame falls in the ACC with every other sport except for
Except
football.
football.
We're trying to
Yeah.
they're trying to sit here and keep that identity. So if you want to make it to the dance, you need to join one of the Power Fives. So if you're already in the ACC, just think about it. If it was Miami and Notre Dame in the championship game, we want to have in the ACC championship
In the
game.
ACC,
We want
yeah.
to have this.
We've been talking
Yeah, we
about
want
this.
to.
Yeah.
We want to have this discussion whether or not Notre Dame deserves to be in.
Mhm.
So just go ahead and I don't know if you need to let your guard down or whatever the case may be, but I feel like you can't be in. I mean, your military schools done join some type of conference.
Conference now
So
too,
that
right?
just
That was unheard of.
that
Yeah.
just lets you know. Yeah, that just
Yeah,
lets you know
yeah.
right there. So Notre Dame ain't any different. So if you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
come to the party, go ahead and sign up.
I agree. I agree.
It's all
I
about
don't think-
Rudy, man. Rudy controlling it. You know, it's all
Man.
about Rudy. That's the bad boy.
Taking it back.
He's calling the shots.
The hell with
calling the
Rudy,
shots.
overrated ass.
Rudy calling the shots, man.
He had that
Man.
goddamn charity sack.
Oh,
All right,
man.
well, if the views of those given by Clifton Dawn and
I
so
know. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of. Hey, look, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and have a whole bunch of fighter Irish pissed off at me at the front door.
don't feel bad because I agree with you. They don't deserve the bump that they get. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
No,
You and
no,
every other conference, you
no.
know, every other major
Yeah.
sport except football. Like, yeah, stop it. Join the conference, man. And like you said, if they were in the ACC and they had to go up with Miami, you know, head to head in the conference championship game, we wouldn't even be talking about this. So
Yeah.
Facts.
I agree.
Facts.
Get
I will
over
say
it,
that
Irish fans.
we will see more 3-loss teams if they do make it to the 16-team playoff. So
And I think that
therefore,
I think that's fine though.
I think that yeah, it's fine, but you still give it like Bama the door and the opportunity. They just don't have the
Okay.
pizzazz and the riz
They just don't have
anymore.
the percent.
For the
Okay.
fact,
Okay.
yeah, like 10 years ago, it was Bama or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or Bama
much.
or Clemson. Oh,
Oh,
damn near
yeah.
Auburn. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It was
Yep.
ACC or bust. But
Yep.
I think the realignment of a lot of these conferences too has everything like totally skewed as well too. To the point
That
that
was the word.
it
That was the
really
worst
does.
thing.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter what school. There is no way that Oregon should be flying all the way to goddamn Indiana as vice versa, as far as
But
the
with
Big
all these
Ten
transfers, you killed the loyalty. They
Right.
blocked the loyalty, so now
Well-
they're not. They don't have to stay on the team to progress. They can just.
It's
jump
almost
ship.
it's almost like a pump and dump with the NBA. I mean, not the NBA, but college ball, college
True.
basketball.
College
It's
ball,
kind of
yeah.
it's kind of that same vibe to where you had like these legitimate like 1-year farming schools just to bring somebody in just for them to
Yeah.
get drafted in the NBA the following
NBA,
year.
yeah.
NIL didn't sit here and make it any better either. So like this is just the new movement.
As bad as the NIL is, I'm only for it because of like a Lane Kiffin situation. You can leave a school, still get paid and get bonuses, but these kids can't. So like, and I there needs to be a structure to all of this, but
Yeah.
until they figure it out where if coaches leave, they shouldn't get paid, then I'm fine with taking away the NIL. But I don't feel that it's fair that a coach can get up and go and still get paid when these kids you've come to this kid's house and his parents and sold him a dream that you're going to be there for him for the next 4 years. And then you're going and he's stuck. You know, so the NIL to me, I thought it was a great thing, but and we've talked about it, Sam. There needs to be limits and there needs to be some type of standard going forward where this time of year kids can't just be jumping in and out of bed talking about, well, I'm tired of Ohio State. I'm going to Penn State. No, I'm going like there needs to be some type of structure to this because it does kill bowl season too. Because that's not the team
right.
that I watched
Right.
all year play because the 3 or 4 best kids decided, you know what, I'm not going to show up because I'm transferring next year. I'm going to OU or I'm going to Texas or wherever it may be. So yeah, that needs to be fixed.
And you can't even watch growth. There's no growth.
No.
You can't even watch the growth of the players.
And you're right, because that first round, like I forgot who was playing. I forgot who played in the first round, but they talked about like 6 or 7 players that, claimed for the transfer portal, and they weren't even playing. they weren't even playing in the semis and everything. And I'm like, how can you do your team there? That's something that should happen
that should happen
now.
after.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
When bowl
I think
season is over.
yeah. Once we start moving into the semis or something like that shit should have started in like November, December time frame. Because
I agree.
when you have the semis to think about, like, you really doing your team an injustice and everything. Same thing with talking to coaches and everything. Like, I get it that the season is over, but you still have that second phase, which is your bowl games and your playoffs. That you need to consider too. So, do we really want to sit here and disrupt the team? I'm surprised that Ole Miss has made it as far as they have. Knowing that they lost their head coach and half the doggone staff.
That's what I'm saying. Go with the trends, y'all. Go with the trends.
That's the main reason why I said Chambers, his mental's on another level, just because of that. To block that out and to perform like this in Showtime.
Well, look, I'm gonna pray for Cliff's FanDuel, but I'm telling y'all, stick with the trend. We gonna transition though, y'all. We gonna transition to the NFL, and playoffs are here. We gonna transition to the AFC. Looking at the AFC playoff picture, we have finally narrowed it down. With Denver getting the number 1 seed, we got the Patriots and the Chargers going head to head, Jacksonville and Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. They sealed the deal the other night.
They did.
And
unbelievable.
Unbelievable, like really unbelievable. And I don't know if you guys saw, the breaking news before we got on. Harbaugh, my man, he got fired after 18 years of being in Baltimore. And same thing. We look at, he's the second longest tenured coach behind Tomlin, and even in Pittsburgh, they've been calling for Tomlin's head. And I just want to start there. When we look at that, one, it blew my mind. I thought Harbaugh would be there in Baltimore forever. But like, again, this is like the industry and trends and everything. Everybody wants to win now, but you got a guy that's been bringing you to the playoffs and giving you a chance that, 15 other teams don't even get, consistently. And I know you haven't won, a ring in a while, but you're in the conversation almost every year. Like, how do you guys feel about that? When you look at Baltimore, or even Pittsburgh, with the coaching situation, like, how do you guys feel about, the stability or instability of the fan dealing with head coaching?
Hey, look, to be honest, it's not over for Mike Tomlin. I'm just gonna say that with all due respect. Like, he had a winning season, and they made it to the playoffs, but I got a feeling if they lose to the Texans, that this might be the last time we see him too. When you go stagnant for as long as John Harbaugh did, then there's going to be some questions that's going to be put out there. They haven't won in 13 years.
13 years,
right? 14
right.
years. 14 years. Mm-hmm. They haven't won the Super Bowl. You have a lot of talent around you with Derrick Henry and Lamar. Defense a little bit spotty, but everybody's defense spotty in this day and age and everything. But it's the fact that he just couldn't deliver. So I think that's the issue that you have. So, they're going to sit here and try to find somebody who can. You had 14 years to sit here and bring something, bring some hardware back to Baltimore, and you haven't done it yet. So, once again, that's just the climate that we're in. Everyone's trying to win. So, they're just going to sit here and restructure as best as possible to get what they need.
Do you feel the injuries outweighed the performances, or the other way around?
It's tough because injuries were everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just with, Baltimore. I'm throwing my team in there too, because we done lost damn near everybody at some point in time in the season. I don't even know how we're going to be looking doggone Saturday against Chicago again. But and maybe that's a discussion too. Like, what's going on with all the injuries and everything? Like, Green Bay, for instance, they done sat here and fired like 2 strength and conditioning coaches just because of the injuries that were plaguing the team for the past some odd years and everything. Since they won the Super Bowl back in like 2011, they've been dealing with the same thing, limping into the playoffs, getting injured. That's how Mike McCarthy lost his job, because he would always make it into the playoffs and might end up being the first round elimination and everything. So probably looking at the front office, looking at John like, we done gave
Yeah.
you all this talent, and you ain't doing anything with it. So it's time for you to kick rocks.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Cliff. Like, I think Baltimore, like injuries, like Sam said, I think every team across the NFL, that's just part of the game. But when I look at Baltimore, and I think, and I was saying, I was talking with another friend of mine, same thing, big Baltimore fan. I was like, but you do know, I think the biggest thing for them, not only defensively with the injuries, but the DC went to become the head coach in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Look what Seattle did.
Yeah.
Their defensive coordinator last year is the head coach in Seattle. So I'm like, there has to be something to coaching, right? You have pretty much the same core. Yes, you had injuries, but they had injuries last year. They had hella injuries last year, but they still were more competitive. For whatever reason this year, the injuries, and I really do believe it to be that lack of coaching that was there. 1 year makes a difference. And I really do believe that was what really bit Baltimore in the ass this year. And then when you talk about injuries, I don't remember what year. It's been a while now. But the switch, the NFL switched from Reebok to Nike. And in my opinion, we've seen more non-contact injuries. You just walking, planting your foot.
Yeah.
Guys getting hurt under Nike gear than there were when it was Reebok. So I attribute it to gear. And yes, guys are bigger, faster. They may be more explosive, but I do believe the gear. You mean to tell me if I plant my foot on a fake, on a jab, and I blow out my knee? Like, there has to be something else to it. And the fact that they don't hit or practice the way that they used to. Your body is not something that you could just run into that wall and you haven't been running into that wall for 3 weeks. Today I'm just gonna go ahead and go out there and run into that wall. Well, of course your body, you know what I'm saying? Of course you ain't been doing it, right? So I just think all of those things really attribute, to where, the injuries that we're having and what we're looking at, and it just has to be fixed. And I don't, whether it's a change in format, scheduling, practices, whatever it may be, I think they really need to change that. And looking at the AFC though, to transition back, now that we see Denver, and Sam, you and I talked about, because I was giving Denver the business 2 years ago. I was like, Denver ain't shit, Sean Payton ain't shit, Bo Nix is trash. I was talking about them like a dog. So Broncos fans, I'm eating my crow. I'm sorry. We talked about it. We both agreed that Denver was the cream of the crop early on when we first talked about this, Sam. So looking at it though, now that we're in this final 7, who do you see, really making it, to the AFC Championship game? And does all roads really go through Mile High, or is there a team out there that's really caught your attention that could really maybe shake things up a little bit in the AFC?
This is going to be funny because we brought this team up too.
Texas. Go to Texas.
No.
Texas, Sam.
Man, you Cliff right here.
Go to Texas, Sam.
I'm going to say Jacksonville.
Oh, stop it. Oh,
yes. Yeah.
No way in hell.
You should be on that crew on Get Up.
Hey, look.
You too.
Hey, look. Who knew that the Jaguars were going to end up 11-5? That wasn't on my bucket list.
We
brought up the beginning of the season. When we brought up the beginning of the season, we was like, ain't no way in hell.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, and don't get me wrong, the Texans is like red hot, but like I don't know. Sunshine Kenny Anderson came over there and flipped the switch out there in Duval. So like I'm not gonna say I'm all in on him, but if you asking me for a sleeper,
okay,
I'm going with Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that is because like I don't know which CJ Stroud, quarterback for Texans. I don't know which version of him I'm gonna actually see. And don't get me wrong, defense is phenomenal. But everything kind of hangs on Stroud's performance and everything. So I don't know. It puts me in this conundrum. Like, do I want to really sit here and like root for him or nah? You know what I'm saying? So
I can tell you
and
right now.
there's no way. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I was about to say, like, you know, the overall story would be for that bad man to carry their team all the way, but I don't think he's gonna make it. So
Yeah, you could pack him up. There you go,
yeah,
pack him up after
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it either.
that defense will take is gonna light him up.
And I'm with you, and I think Cliff and I are on the same page. But go ahead, Cliff. I'm gonna let you tag him first. I think we're on the same page in the AFC.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm ready. I'm ready for these rounds. Let's go.
All right. I don't know, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, right? This Texan defense is not giving you a little 2000 Baltimore Ravens vibe?
Well, listen.
Or am I reaching? Or am I reaching?
No.
I could
So
be.
here's what you're missing though, and this is why I'm with you. Houston and Denver are the top two defenses in the AFC. And defense, in my opinion, this time of year wins championships.
Right.
I lean towards I like Houston's defense better than Denver's. Now,
okay.
Sam brought up a very good point though. I don't know which Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Stroud is going to show up. That's been the Achilles for them.
Mm-hmm.
But if the game, this is just me, if the game is close and both defenses do what they do, I want to take my chances, and this is just me. I'm taking CJ Stroud only because they've been in this situation before. This is still kind of new territory for this iteration of Denver. And that, to me, that's the tiebreaker. The guy that has driven the car the most, who's jumped out of the plane the most, whatever it may be, he's done it. He's experienced it. He knows what it feels like. I'm going with that experience. And that, to me, that's the difference. And Houston beating Denver, I feel making it to the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it to you. You're absolutely right, and I'm rolling with you on that. Right. Here's what I'm torn between. At the same time, Buffalo actually has a shot without having to face the two Achilles heels that they kept having troubles with. Right.
Yeah,
City,
but
Baltimore.
Man, like,
you know what I mean? This I can't see.
Yeah,
Buffalo,
but them Bills ain't billing right now, though. Like, I'm just gonna
Jacksonville, Jaguars is not running over Buffalo.
Hey, look, I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. You know,
take
what
his
I'm saying?
MVP trophy away if the Jaguars run over him. That's not supposed to be. Jaguars should be lucky that they're in the playoffs against the Bills.
Hey, look,
that's how I'm
first off, they are lucky, but they're hungry at the same time too. So that's the only thing that.
But Bills should have a chip on their shoulder, Sam. They should look who they got.
No,
right?
I see what you're saying.
And look who's ahead of them. Never mind who they got right now. I mean, they should be able to see it, see the vision. They should because of what they've been through.
Yeah, but they go in there lipping too. Like let's be clear.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? If we're looking at who's hot right now, Jacksonville's hot. Houston's hot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Buffalo coded in the temperature in their stadium right now. Like I can't sit here and
it's brick.
Yo, listen, man. And this, so you know, Cliff, you bring up a very good point, right? But here's my thing. Josh Allen is one of those guys, for me, talented. He's like A-Bear in San Diego. Talented, yes. When you look at the stats and you look at the numbers, they look great. But there's just something, and this is just me, my eye test, that's missing. That there's nothing that's going to help.
Papo.
What up, fam? What's up,
Lance?
There's nothing there for me and his leadership that's going to put them over. And you're 100% right. I think this is their best opportunity to be able to, take advantage of no Kansas City, no Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? But it's something about Josh Allen, as great as he is and as great as he's been. I don't buy into him. I don't
If
trust
Sunshine
him.
skates on him, he better pack it up. He better pack it up if Sunshine skates on him. I do not listen. I do not expect. I just as
Hey,
hot
look,
as the
this
Jaguars is, you're absolutely right. But come on. I mean, now
this
it's like
game.
Josh Allen, we giving you an extra way.
Hey, look, this game is going to
To be
be a
seen,
whole
and
lot
this
closer and challenging, you
Yeah.
know.
I think so too.
And
And
yeah, the Bills have the experience and everything. But like I said, the momentum plus home field advantage, like I think those are going to be two big factors right there. And I mean, the Bills had like heartbreaking losses down the stretch of the road
yeah,
too.
man.
Yes.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I think
Yes.
that they're still going to be feeling remnants of that at the end of the day too. So
I agree.
I'm sticking with
It's
my
going to be.
guns. We'll
I'm
talk
going to
about
stick with it.
this.
And again, if these
Okay.
things, I'm going to clip them. I'm gonna have to clip this. If I'm wrong
Flip
or
it.
any one of us wrong, I'm going to clip it and I'm going to bring it back
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is when shit gets real with the playoffs, and we're gonna flip to the other side. The NFC. It's kind of been laid out for a while. What was going to play out in the NFC? Just a couple of minor shifts. With seeding with Philadelphia and Chicago, and this kind of goes back, Sam, like what we talked about. Sam Damn Darnold in Seattle taking the number one
Yes.
spot. The
Sam Dan.
Bears taking on your Packers. The Eagles,
Sam
the
Dan Darnold.
49ers. Yeah, Sam Damn Darnold, and the Panthers. I'm Sam. We definitely when we talked about it, there
Yeah.
was listen. I'll be honest,
Hey,
there was
look.
no fucking way, no way
Hey, look.
that this shit
Hey,
was happening.
Hey, look. Carolina was on no vision board making it to the playoffs
They
at
weren't
all.
even on. They weren't
Hey,
even
look.
on the map.
Hey, look. I wish that you would have rolled. I wish you would have rolled the clip when we were talking about predictions and everything, because it was 4 middle
Bruh.
fingers going towards Carolina, not just 2.
Yeah. It was. They was getting the worst. So shout out to the Panthers
Yeah.
fans, man, for showing up. I mean, you had to get some help, but you did it. But when we look at this, man, like Seattle, taking the number one spot, and like I said, defensive coordinator coming from Baltimore, taking the reins on in Seattle. Sam Damn Darnold out here looking like the number 3 pick that he was and that he is,
Mm-hmm.
2 years in a row. You
There's
understand
a
what I'm
stock.
saying?
Yeah.
Minnesota,
Hey, look.
I know they're kicking themselves because they
Minnesota
had the
punching
opportunity.
air.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Minnesota been punching air since week 3. The first time AJ McCarthy got hurt, they were like upset.
Yeah. So looking at the East, Cliff, I'm gonna open up with you, man. When you look at the East, like who are you looking at? Is there a storyline or a team, or what do you see playing out? As we get to the NFC Championship with the 2 teams that you feel going to end up there.
Now NFC, I see some possibles, right? Like this is spades. The Panthers. I feel the same way about the Panthers as I do the Jaguars, right? That's
Right.
because to me, Stafford, he's on a high. He's playing high level
Mhm.
with the Eagles, right? My
Yeah.
question is the Eagles the new Chiefs as far as consistency, making it to that level? So I'm eager to see how they do. Because
Mhm.
49ers, with all that you spoke it up earlier, with all the injuries, they are balling. And I think they had the most injuries. I think there's practice guys on
Look,
the field on the
listen. For the last 10
starting.
years, they've had the most injuries. It seemed like every year.
But
Man.
they are balling. And the Bears, I'm impressed by the Bears. Bears and Packers.
Watch your words.
I know, man.
Hey,
So
look.
I'm realizing,
Hey, look. You minced your words wisely. All right.
the Packers and the Bears. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that game. I wouldn't bet on that game because I just seen a lot of Bears fans that my friends that I know for years. I just never seen them on this high level before. So
They ain't been here in a while.
yeah, they've been there in a while. So I think that
Yeah.
adrenaline could carry them. The Packers, I just don't know. But I'm really eager to see the consistency of the Eagles. Because
I think you bring up a great
from
point with that.
you know, it,
They've become like a team in the NFC now that, like you said, with Kansas City kind of flickering out, but that dominance that they've had,
yeah,
I really think with them that their dominance can be not only assured, if you will, if they capture another Super Bowl ring, but I think the biggest hump, and I think Sam, you and I talk about, is the coach. There's just something that's dysfunctional when it comes from the coach to the players. When you have, people can say what they want to say about Jalen Hurts. I think he's an exceptional quarterback. A guy
I
that,
don't get that. I don't understand that whole
but I think
segment,
it's
man.
bigger than that. Like I think it's the thing where you're not on a team that throws the ball 40 times a game, but they could, because I mean you got two of the best receivers in the game, and AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and I'm leaving out Dotson and all the other guys.
Yeah.
You have probably the most prominent running back in the game. I just don't know why it doesn't mesh from whatever's being called to what happens on the field. And I think the coach is
Mm.
conservative at times, because there's games that I'm looking at. I'm like, yo, you should be blowing these guys out. But it's like he plays safe. And then I think that trickles down, though, just being an athlete and being a competitor. You get in your own head, because then it's like when you look at AJ Brown, a lot of times you can see him, saying, what the fuck? Why am I not being involved? And yes, Lance, you're right. Defense does win championships. But sometimes when you have an offense that can put so much pressure on a defense that you have to really figure out who you want to stop, it really becomes hard. Because look, Philadelphia has a lot of pieces. They have a
Yeah.
lot of pieces. And like, how do you figure out how to stop that? And that's what Kansas City did so good and so great for so many years. They had a lot of pieces. So, and it's questionable what Philly does, but I think they can, like I said, they can assure themselves of some type of conversation about dynasty or destiny if they figure out a way to win again this year. And I see you,
Right.
Sam. I see you looking. Go ahead. I'm gonna pass the baton, bro.
Just making sure I got my facts straight. All right, let's go. So, question one, is this going to be redemption from the Rams because they did lose to the Panthers a couple of weeks ago? I think it was like week 16. And
Yep.
that was a really good game and a
That
shootout.
was a great game.
So,
That was a great game.
Yeah.
and it was in Carolina too. So it's
Carolina.
history
Yep.
going to repeat itself twice. Let's see who else we got. My biggest issue with the Eagles, I think the Eagles lost 2 or 3 key pieces of their offensive line before the
Mhm.
season through like trades or something like that. So I don't think that they're giving Jalen enough time, whether it's in the pocket or to make quick decisions, because these defenses are just Swiss cheesing and slicing through that offensive line. I think that's the biggest issue, and they're not holding the line long enough for a Saquon to do anything. So
Right.
that's the big issue right there. I think that's where you have the frustration on the offense with AJ Brown and Devontae Swift, or DeAndre Swift.
Mhm.
I think that's where you have it at. Can they, and will, the question is Saquon going to show up for this game this week? Because I think really, honestly, everything kind of rides on him
Of
to
course.
whether or not the Eagles are going to be successful and get that dub.
Agree.
I do have the Niners with a slight edge. And that's just because, Cliff, you said it, like, Carolina's, they so goddamn broke right now. You know what I'm saying? And they came in limping. You know what I'm saying? And like this is 2 years in a row too, mind you, for them to come in. But whatever they got mended to keeping them afloat, I think it's
Yeah,
just
It's
they doing
working.
it.
carrying them forward.
They doing it.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
rolling. So I do have the Niners with a slight edge with that. And last but not least, I'm picking the doggone
I know. We
Packers
know
Absolutely.
over
that.
the Bears.
Absolutely.
Um, the only reason, and let me say this, like I like Caleb. I would get scared of Caleb Williams if he could be as consistent in the first quarter as or the first half as he is in the second half. Because normally the first half, this Bama will sit here and have netted like 64 yards, negative 23 rushing yards, and his QB rating is a D. And then all of a sudden the second half comes around and he has like 223 yards. He's like 16 to 17 as far as pass completions with a doggone QB rating that looked like a credit score, and I just be like, I be getting angry. So
Yes.
that's what I would be nervous with, is if he could sit here and it clicks on Saturday. I think the game is. If it sits there and click that way, then I would be nervous, because who knew what type of impact Micah Parsons was going to sit here and actually have on that defense, because he freed up so much on that defensive line.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. I know Rashawn Gary said, don't worry, we got it, bro, but you haven't done shit. So I need you to shut up and actually just go to work. I don't the Packers came over there and signed 8 players now, if you include Trayvon Diggs. So I I hope that he comes over here and delivers defensively. But they added some more pockets to the D line. I think they added one more O line, and they brought up a running back too. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we're healthy, because that's the thing. Because looking at the beginning of the season, I was all happy, because I was like, but I said it. I was like, if the Packers can stay healthy, then we can make this push.
You did.
Midway through the season, between like losing half the damn receiving core, losing Tucker Kraft, we lost Xavier Williams at one point in time on the defense. Musgrave, Van Ness. I could go on and on, but those losses and those injuries is what hurt the Packers moving forward, and the predictability of Matt LaFleur. I'm not sold on him as our forever coach. I don't think he's going to have the longevity. I'm just going to be. I'm going to keep it a bean. I don't think he's going to have that longevity like Mike McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? Because Mike McCarthy, they was like, "Hey, we'll give you a chance," but it'd be the fact that you're going on like 15 years without a Super Bowl or a push like
that. Long, really.
Matt LaFleur been on the team, I want to say like 5-6 years, so he's getting to that point. It's just gonna be like, hey, I'm a toe tap you, and it's about to be a wrap. So
I didn't realize
he could be another one that's going to be on the radar too, depending on how far they make it in the playoffs and everything. So, but the question is, and I think we're going to lead up to it, is like, who's going to be that juggernaut for Seattle? Who do you think will be who do you think is going to? Yeah,
got to be honest. I already know where you're going, because when I look at this, and injuries is killer. I love what San Francisco has done, and they've done this consistently, only to fall short. They've been decimated by injuries year after year. It seems like for the last 3 or 4 years, and it happens again. I love the fight in them, but I just don't see it this year. So I'm scratching San Francisco off the list. Same thing goes. I love you. I'll be honest with you. When we talked about this early in the year, Sam, I was high on your Packers. I really was. I think they had all the pieces, but and you said it early on, injury. So same thing. I'm putting them in the same boat as the 49ers. Not happening. Carolina, hey, congratulations, but pack your bags and stay home, because you're not going anywhere. Pack it up. Pack it up. You guys are not going anywhere. You're not going nowhere. For real. All right. So it boils down to, and we talked about this early on, Sam. It leaves the Rams and the Bears, right?
Yeah.
I do not buy Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams for me is like a package of bad meat. He's going to get you sick. Somewhere along, he's going to get you sick. I'm sorry. Pack him up. Pack him up. Get rid of him. The Rams
in the playoffs, he hasn't felt that playoff.
Bad meat, man. He's got listeria, Ebola. He's just pack him up. Get him out of here. I don't buy bad meat.
He got that yellow tag on him, huh?
Look, that yellow tag was a red tag. They just happened to put a yellow tag on it to get it off the shelf. Don't buy it. Forget about it. I'm just sorry. So that leaves the Rams. The Rams, and we've talked about it for the last 2 years, the way they ended last year, the way they've been competitive this year, even through injury. When people were talking about Stafford, not being able to play with the bad back, Puka, all the rest of the guys, defensively, they're stout, and like Lance said earlier, defense wins championships. I think they're the team that's ready. We talked about it. The NFC West really, I think, is the cream of the crop this year. And I'm counting Philly out because of the coach. So I'm looking at Seattle and the Rams going at it in the NFC title game. and I'm gonna fly with Sam Damn Donald. He's been out here
Really?
mucking it. Yeah, I'm look, I gotta become a believer
But
now.
didn't he
He's
show
out
you
here
this last year in the regular season? He was a beast. Once
again.
he got into the
Yeah,
playoffs, like
listen,
18 interceptions.
hey, look, Linda. Listen. Okay. We gotta go with
Linda.
this. we got we gotta go with this, bro. I'm telling you, this guy's ready.
Okay.
And look, it took me a long time to get to this point. Okay. But
Yeah,
That's
it's
I'm
taking
telling you,
you a very long time.
it's taking me a long time. So I'm going with trends, just like I did in college football. I'm going with the trend. Sam Damn Donald is the hottest trend going right now. So is Seattle. Go get your FanDuel, as Cliff would say. Put your money down.
Yeah,
But
I was
hey,
about to ask you. I'm pretty sure that you don't dwell
oh,
into the
oh, hell
FanDuel.
no. Oh
Yeah,
hell
I can
no.
tell by your
Oh hell no.
trends.
I can just tell right. If you
I can
guys are
tell by
looking
your
for
trends.
if you guys are looking for something to bet on, don't take Dane's word.
Don't take
Don't
the
do
trends.
it. Don't
You
do
gotta
it.
get
Don't bet your house.
you gotta get some hateful DMs.
Hey, look, it's okay.
Right.
I'm built for it. No disrespect, but like I said, I don't just stick with that. But again, though, we'll put a pin in it and we'll come back to it just in case we get to it. And as we travel along, we keeping it real, we keeping it a buck. We got to go to the NBA. I mean, it's just that time, and it's really been crazy. I guess if you
No, I'm
will.
not a writer.
But for
Okay.
us,
If I find my way home, yeah. Hey, wouldn't it be crazy? Hey, don't you still amaze me? Hey, wouldn't it be crazy? Hey, don't you still amaze me?
Yeah, that shit scared the shit out of me, dog. I was
That was dope.
hey, you muted. You muted. You mute yourself again. The
I don't know why.
gremlins.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't
Dude.
know why on my side. Yeah, but it was loud. It came in loud as hell. But yeah, we jumping and we jamming into the NBA. I don't know what happened, Gremlins tonight on that part. But NBA being in flux, right? We got the Dippers, who or the Clippers as some people like to call them. You know, I see what you did there. I appreciate that. That's really got things going on. We got Trey Young with the trade. Look like he's working on a trade to get out of Atlanta. Giannis has been in the news for whatever. And then we look at LeBron. So the league is kind of in flux. And gentlemen, I'm just going to throw it out there. And Cliff, if you want to start, like, where do you see the league going? Or what players potentially changing teams as we get closer to the NBA trade deadline?
All right. I've been so high on my Knicks. I haven't. I've been so like focused, like tunnel vision on my Knicks. Detroit is impressive. I got.
Whew,
I got to keep it a
bruh,
buck. I mean,
bruh.
Detroit is looking
Tough.
crazy, and you got now at the trade deadline, you got people that want to come to Detroit, which you haven't
Yeah, man.
seen in years. So there, I think that there are a superstar away from dominating
Mm,
the East. The way they're playing this year, right? Now we need to see consistency, but man, from where they were to what they're showing you now, they're good in all positions, right? Jalen Durn, that boy is a young Charles Oakley, but taller, right?
right.
The,
These boys
the way
ball.
that he's playing. So in the East, to me, it's still going to be a battle between New York or Detroit. That's what
Mm.
I see in the East, right? In the West, a healthy Wimby, yeah. Spurs is OKC. Just how you have some teams that they got your number.
Yeah.
Spurs got OKC's number. Can it change? I don't know, but you never saw OKC lose to the same team 3 times in a row.
Ooh,
3 times in
mm,
a row.
speak
So
on
you're
that.
seeing some things that haven't happened. Um, Trey Young possibly going to the Wizards. That's for seats. That's the only thing anybody can
That's all
expect
that
out of
is,
that.
right?
That's just to sell some
Right.
more tickets in DC. Because as far as that, they still not gonna go nowhere. But it's gonna
Right.
bring people to the Capital One.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna bring some revenue.
Right.
Even though Washington's playing better than they played last year, right?
Yeah.
There's still some pieces that when Trey Young get there, he's still gonna have to pass it, unless he's gonna drop 50
Okay.
or 60 and turning, every night.
Right.
Giannis. At first, listen, I didn't want Giannis coming to the Knicks, right?
Still don't. I
Dude,
still don't. I still
I,
don't.
I really don't. These 7 games, like OG has been pissing me off. Oh, nobody. I just don't
Hmm.
know. Um, I don't want them to get rid of Cat to get Giannis,
Don't
right?
want them
I,
to do
I
that
just don't
either.
want it just because of the chemistry, right? Because of the chemistry, I just don't. I don't want that to happen. Can
Right.
Giannis make a difference?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he could.
Yeah,
Limited.
but chemistry,
Mm,
yeah, but Mike Brown is playing chess out there. He's playing
I
chess out there.
think
You didn't know Kolek was that nice, right? Tibbs
because
didn't
the
give those
previous.
people a
I'm about to
chance.
say right because of the previous regime though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so we're seeing what that's happening. I agree with you.
yeah. Yeah. So as far as the trade line, the only thing that's probably going to make a little noise is Trey Young, unless Giannis, just does something crazy, right?
So so I'm going to
But
ask
other
you
than
then.
that,
I want to throw it out there. And while we're talking about the trade deadline, and Sam, I'm gonna throw this to you. So what about like I started with the Dippers? Um, do they trade Kawhi or Harden? Or do one of them go? Does AD get traded from your Mavs? Like is that something that's foreseeable?
Um, Kawhi
well,
can't go
Dallas
anywhere
is
because
his team.
Kawhi ain't going nowhere because Clippers they got some shit going on with some investigations. So until they sit there and resolve those investigations, he's put. Now, will James Harden get up and leave? I don't know. Do they need to go ahead and break it up? I think so because I think that ship done sailed with the Clippers and whatever experiment they were doing there is just not gelling or working. And I mean, they're what? Where they at? 11 right now.
Mhm.
Um, they've been on the struggle bus for a few years. This is the first year in a long time that Kawhi has actually been active and
Yep.
playing some good ball and not coming up with these mystery injuries out of the blue and everything. So, I mean, we'll see. Um, AD, hey, look, trade his ass. I'm just gonna put it out there. Why? Because the same reason why he was traded from New Orleans to LA was the same reason he got traded from LA to Dallas, and the same reason
Injury
why
prone.
Dallas is trying to get rid of his ass
Yeah.
Can't stay
and
healthy.
get 2 sandwiches and some soup or something in reference to
Damn.
this trade. Now I know that there was talk with between Atlanta and Dallas with like Trey Lance, AD, but there's a young big that they got out there in Atlanta that they just weren't
Atlanta.
willing to give up. Yeah, so
That
that's I
young kid,
forgot his name.
Terrapin or whatever his name is, Serapin, Carapin,
Yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah. Hmm.
So I know it was supposed to be like a package deal, but like Atlanta opted out of it because they didn't want to get rid of their young players. But I kind of feel like minus Kyrie, when you look at the Dallas roster in depth, it's a pretty young team. I mean, the oldest
Yeah.
players that they got up there is Kyrie and AD, but you
Hmm.
want Kyrie's experience. AD is just I get tired. It's like you play 2 games and then next thing you know it's a growing injury, or you play another 2 games and now
The
you
wind
tweak
hit him
your
too
knee.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just and we're still in that post Luca,
Yeah.
residual in Nico
Yeah.
Harrison. Was still feeling those residuals. So like on paper, when I was looking at the beginning of the season and I was looking at the roster, I was like, this shit's gonna be nasty. The only thing they got to do is sit here, stay afloat until
Yeah,
doggone
Yeah.
Kyrie come back after All-Star break.
yeah,
Oh shit, you
Yeah.
bring in D'Angelo, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The
Yeah.
come and help. But he
Yep.
wasn't really running point. Then you have Cooper Flag running point, and I was like, "What the hell is Jason Kidd doing right now?"
Yeah. It's
As
a
far as
mess.
these decisions,
Mm.
yeah.
It's a mess.
So I'm not saying blow up the Mavs because they're already blown up, but like it. I mean, if they're going to get something, I would take a young, durable center
Yeah.
over AD at this point. And don't get me wrong, like it's tough because he could go out there and bang like 20, 30 points and get you like
Facts.
Yeah.
16 rebounds a game. He could
But then
pull a
you won't
double
have him.
double, but
Then you won't have him for 2 weeks. Then if he do
yeah,
that,
there,
you
there's no
know,
consistency with it. So it
no.
becomes that headache and everything. So like get rid of him. Um Same thing with LeBron. I think the Lakers need to go ahead and move on from LeBron. It's not his show anymore.
Yeah, it's
You got
time. It's
Austin
time.
Rivers,
It's time for
you
that.
got Connect, and you
Yeah.
got Luca.
Yeah.
They running the show over there. LeBron is becoming more of a hindrance on the team. And don't get me wrong, because everybody look
Yeah.
at this record and they're like, oh, they're 22-11 and everything. But LeBron don't play no defense. We know Luca
Nah,
don't
he
play
don't
no
bring that-
defense because he wasn't doing that
Zero.
shit out there in Dallas. Yeah, he wasn't
Zero.
doing it out there in Dallas, and he still ain't doing it. So do we need a 5-on-3 when it comes to offensive play, when it comes to defense and everything? So
Dude, it's
and they're
terrible.
more productive. They're more productive with LeBron sitting there on the sidelines eating fruit, doing his rest recovery shit. You know, so just like
Yeah,
keep him there.
let's go ahead and give him his grand tour.
Yeah.
I do agree.
I-
You know, and I do want to say I do want to go see him one time before he retires, at least. But it's time for that tour to come to an end because it's not going to play out well. I think we'll see like how it's been the last couple of years for the Lakers when it gets to the playoffs. I think they're I think the 4th or 5th seed. I think when I last looked, they'll probably be in that
Mhm.
playing situation. It'll be time to move on. And you know, circling back to what Dave said here about the Knicks and what Cliff was saying earlier, you know, don't want to trade him, but Cat is soft. And look, Cat is who Cat is, right? He is.
Yeah.
I was gonna get him my Denny Green's thing, but we know
Hey,
we know
look,
what he is.
hey, look.
Right?
I want to I want to piggyback off of this when you speak your piece.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to trade him, but here's what I will say: the Knicks, this current construct of the Knicks is nothing new, nothing different. It's really been the same team that Tibbs had for the longest time. So we see what happens though when you change coaches, and you have a coach that's a little bit more in tune to the actual pieces that he has. We actually have a bench now. You know, our bench is putting up. Last season, we were just under 20 points a game from our bench. This year, we're averaging, our bench is giving us 33 points a game. Whoo! Who knew? Kolick, all of these guys. The key is, and Cliff, you said it, it's two guys on the Knicks that's going to make the biggest difference. OG and Mikal Bridges. Those two guys are going to have the most impact game in and game out on what the Knicks do moving forward in the season. You have some other guys. We have some bigs. I think we need another big, you know, from that can play that 3-4 position that can give you the dirty work. We need a bigger Josh Hart, is what I'm saying. I love Josh Hart. He gives you all the dirty work. We just need a guy a little bit bigger that can give you those 6 fouls and the work that you need in 10 minutes in the playoffs. Detroit is going to be a problem. Look, we ain't even talk about Boston because Sam, you and I talked about them earlier. We wrote them off, but now we understand why Jaylen Brown got all the money that he got. The dude is a baller. So we got to keep an eye on Boston. We got to pay attention. I still think Orlando has a long way to go, but they're riding under the radar with Paolo and Wagner and all of them. But yes, I do think right now the way that it's boiling down, the Pistons are going to give the Knicks hell in the finals. And the Knicks just really need to figure out a big and another scorer, and OG and Mikal have to show up every night. That to me, that is that simple this year. So I don't want to see Cat go. And yes, he's soft. He is who he is. We can't change that, but we see how much better he is when Mitchell Robinson is on the floor playing the actual 5, and he's actually playing the actual
I was about
4.
to say he could play his natural position. Yeah.
So when that happens, then it's okay for him to be soft because that's what he is. He's a 4. He's not a 5. So long as we understand that, and if we can get that healthy to the playoffs, I think the Knicks have a chance this year. And Sam, I know you wanted to piggyback.
Yeah, because ain't nobody softer than that damn Rudy Gobert. There, I said it. All right. Knicks had some options. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and the
we
Knicks
don't
wasn't
want-
like, you know who we should bring to the table? What about Rudy? They were like, fuck Rudy. Over here ice skating against the Mavericks and everything. We ain't gonna forget that stuff. Look at him doing pirouettes and shit.
Oh,
So
No.
I can see a more viable big man duo between Cat and Giannis versus what we saw down there with Memphis with Cat and doggone Gobert. because both of them
Exactly.
seemed out of their element. But as soon as you took one of them off the court, well, especially when you took Gobert off the court, you know what I'm saying? That team was more productive and more dominant.
Right.
But they kept on trying to tie him in there. You know what I'm saying? And it just messed up the flow there. But I could see it being
Okay.
more productive over there in New York if they were to do that trade. But the question is, once again, who is the Knicks going to sit here and be willing to give up to make that trade happen? Because I was looking
Yeah.
at their doggone roster, and it's already stacked. And you already brought up one of them. Like, do we send Mitchell Robinson over there? Do we
Hell
send
no.
OG over there? And
Hell
those are
no.
like key players on the Knicks squad right now that are very viable to the success that they have right now. So, and I think moving forward with Giannis, that's going to be the big thing because we know where he wants to go, and he's entitled to that for as long as he's been in the league and everything. But
Right.
are these teams that's kind of built that are championship ready? And I'll put the Knicks in that equation. Like, what pieces are you going to give up? For that
Nah,
long haul, or
Right.
the,
the
or that
cupboard is bare.
stretch that we're looking at in May and June.
Nah, the cupboard is bare. Let's keep it the way that is because we know we got Shemet coming back from injury. We got guys coming back, So
Yeah.
I say let's ride with what we got. I think we'll be fine. And let's see how things lie when we get closer to June. And we'll continue to jump in on the NBA. But we started the show with a bang, man. We came out with a plethora of stuff. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you watch the replay because man, we got some really good shit tonight. And y'all don't want to miss, the ongoing conversations coming, whether it was culture in the community, entertainment, hip hop, just everything we talked about tonight, sports, and I mean, it's been a great conversation. And time flies, but we are at the end of the back end of the show. And before we go, and I was sitting around, man, watching some stuff, man, and for the New Year's holiday, like most people. And I don't know why it just hit me, man. New segment, man. I just wanted, it's the DFID segment. And what that is the fuck is this segment? And we're gonna start what happened over New Year's. So as many of you know, our president decided he wanted to go ahead and take care of Maduro in Venezuela. And I mean, first of all, I don't know where I was when this was happening, but when it actually
You was
dawned
asleep.
on me that right. But when it dawned on me when the shit happened, it's like, yo, is this shit really real? Like, what the fuck is this? So I'm just curious, like, when you guys found out about it, mixed emotions, obviously. Then there's other things that when you listen to people, you watch the news, people in Venezuela out in the street, because he was such a terrible guy. But here in America, like what is your as citizens, like what was your take, on this when you woke up and started really reading the news on what happened? And anyone you can jump in whenever you
Man. So from a military perspective, I think that you sit here and anybody could tell you like we live by the black, the white, the gray. I feel like the actions that happened down there in Venezuela, like we're really meddling into the gray area. And if you look at past history, I think about 0304 going into Iraq, because the goal was to sit there and capture, apprehend Saddam Hussein, put a new regime in. Everything just kind of like clicking back to that timepiece. And then you think about like what's out there in that area, and we really haven't got anything in return of it because the main thing was to stop nuclear weapons and all this stuff, and a lot of that was debunked. But then you look at Venezuela and what they have to offer. They have the largest oil reserve in the world at like between 26 and 30% of the oil, but it's who the oil is being given to, which is other
Right.
superpowers or other world or superpower, not superpower,
Yeah,
world powers.
the world powers.
When it comes to it and everything. Not only that, but you look at it from a mineral perspective and everything. I know that they have a pretty large gold deposit or
Yep.
gold reserve down there too. So, like, I'm not going to say the outside looking in, but it's kind of one of those things that like you see it and you hear it, and I'm just like, man, and just think about it. Like, let's think about China and Taiwan and how that rift been going on
Mm.
for a few years, and how China want to sit here and just kick the door in and take over that area. Let's think about the so-called peace deal that's supposed to be brokering with Russia and Ukraine. What if Putin comes
Right.
over here and just be like, "Fuck it"? I didn't
Because he
try
can. I
to,
mean,
yeah, I didn't sit here and try to
like
broker any
that.
deal. Yeah, I just went down and kicked in doors and hijacked somebody and put them on a chopper. So you're dealing with a real murky, and uh, even when you look at what happened on the Gaza Strip, it's the same
Mhm.
narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You're setting a precedence here that, like, yeah, we have rules, but the rules don't matter. You
Right.
know, what if all of South America want to sit here and coincide and join forces and try to bring that smoke up north? That's another
Right.
thing, and you're making threats to other countries too. What the fuck are
Right.
we doing out in Greenland? He's been talking about
Oh,
Greenland for over a year
forgot all
now,
about. Hey, right. I didn't even
and,
bring that up.
that's a whole new can of worms. So, like,
Right.
I'm just confused. Do you want the world to hate us so much, and
And
isolate us so
that
much?
was
Because that's
my
what we're
thing.
kind of that's what we're evolving to. That
Yeah.
makes me nervous because you think about the alliances, you think about us kind of being the land of the free and people wanting the opportunity to come here to America for the opportunities that we provide, and now we're becoming the bullies that they're sitting here and running away from.
Yeah. That's a great point. Clip.
So
I, that's why I wanted to really hear what Sam had to say. I know he comes from the military, so he has a good insight, depth, and thought on that. I had all sort of thoughts, right? I had my activist thought, like, all right, all of the stuff that's going on here, you tried to clean up, DC, and then from DC you went to
Yeah.
Chicago, then from Chicago you went to Venezuela. You know what I mean? What
Yeah.
about
yeah,
the rest of America, right?
Right.
We have issues here as well, right? So
yeah,
that's my activist hat. My Another thing is, he's showing you that at the end of the day, it has to be about money too,
Mm.
yeah,
right?
Mm.
It has to be about money too. To say that you are about to take control of a whole nother country, you didn't
Yeah.
even build the business you have here up to par before you're trying to take on another project.
Mm.
Like, what
Mm.
is really going on? I've never seen something like this. I've
Right.
never seen something like this. I don't know whether to be mad, scared, looking into
Right.
other countries like to move to.
Right.
What's
Now
going
you
on?
you're right. Yeah.
Just something I've never seen in my lifetime. So, all kind of thoughts
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
hey, when
Look,
he
I'm
came
right
over
there with
there and gave them soldiers that 1776, it gave them 2 additional holidays off,
you. The
tossed
holidays.
in those
Yeah.
two additional, and I bet you one of those days they had shrimp and lobster or surf and turf. If you're a veteran,
L- Listen, he's
you know what
preparing
I'm talking
himself for
about.
after the 4 years.
Yeah,
He's preparing himself
yeah,
for
yeah.
after the 4 years.
So normally when we used to get good meals, when we were getting good meals on an installation, that means that we were about to get deployed somewhere. So I'm pretty sure there
Oh.
was some steak
Oh.
and lobster one of those
Mm.
nights
Mm.
that those soldiers got those
Wow.
1770. And on the flip side, he ended up screwing the soldiers anyway because that 2.8 billion that they used for the 1776 bill was supposed to be for housing to help
Housing.
those
Yeah.
improvements.
Yeah.
So we still
Yep.
got these soldiers living, whether it's on post housing or in the barracks with mold infested barracks, mold infested homes that they won't sit here and repair. And now
Mm.
you don't have nothing to sit there and offset and cover that cost for these repairs or
Wow.
for housing because BAH is supposed to actually be like 90% of the housing and everything too. But let me go ahead and just give you this one time check. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
To call it a day. So
Wow.
you end up screwing the service members in that aspect too.
And
Wow.
Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole oil, him getting the oil and keeping the oil, is that true that Venezuela they even is like, you can have it? We don't even care about that, right?
I'm
Wasn't there
not
a certain
sure
amount
about
of
that.
oil?
it was who they were selling the oil to,
Well,
which was
two,
Two.
Russia,
right?
Okay.
China,
Okay.
and
China,
everything.
Okay.
right?
And I think Iran is in the mix of that too, of
Hmm.
who they're
Okay.
exporting their oil to. So now what they're doing is
Okay.
they want to, like, you can't sell to these guys no more. It needs to be
Hmm.
exclusive to us. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? When it comes to your fuel production and your selling of your fuel, like it needs to be exclusive to us first, and then we could deem who we want to pass it off to.
Yep.
That was part of some of the deals or the
Yeah.
negotiations,
I mean, the
or
the
not
extension of
negotiations,
that,
but the demands. Yeah, the demands
the
that
demands.
came
Yeah.
out. Yeah, in order for Venezuela to start producing and selling their oil again.
Mm.
And I mean, he even took it a step further. You saw what people were barred from getting back and forth out of the Caribbean,
Hmm.
getting back home or getting out of
Yeah,
the states, going because the blockade that's down there in the Caribbean now around Venezuela and all of that. So it's become
yeah,
very difficult. Like I said, I'm with you, Cliff. I don't, I'm in a state of flux because it's one of those things. I don't know if I want to, if I'm happy about it. Should I be worried about it? But these are things that are going on that I think we just have to be mindful of and pay attention to because there's so many different things like Sam talked about. Our military guys and men and women getting these benefits. You still have the continuing resolution that's still sitting out there for federal employees. January 21st is around the corner. So there's a whole myriad of things that are going on that we need to be mindful
yeah.
about. But that was that thing that first thing that I saw that really stood out to me. But then there was, I don't know what this was when I saw it, and I don't know how long it's been around, but I just happened to see it, and it's one of those things that I really was like, "The fuck is this?" And I'm just gonna let it play. I can hear Clip. I was like you. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, I don't know if anybody's
So they're
signing up
doing
for that
tackling drills with no equipment. Is that
Yeah,
is
it's
that
like
what that?
it's like cow drills, but it's probably more on the rugby side.
because that's where I saw it. At. It was like some rugby site, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not doing it. Tackle is one
No,
thing, but that I mean, just the impact of it all. And I was like, who is there a doctor that can fix that? Like the internal
That's
injuries
the quickest
alone.
way to break your whole shoulder piece up.
bro,
That's
I
just
bro,
mean,
an
just
instant way.
think about the concussions. You know what I'm saying?
there's not enough
That's a kid.
money.
Think about the
Not
size.
enough.
You saw them dudes. Think about the size, the speed, and the
Look,
force that they were hitting each other.
there's got to be a junior league. Like there's those are big
You don't even need.
motherfuckers.
You don't even
That's
need to
what
be
the
a junior league. Hey, you better get
jeez.
them big ass like them ball enclosures that people run around and bounce themselves off with. Like that's what you need
Yeah,
for that because that is too
yeah.
extreme
That's
right there.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but
Right.
when I saw it, I was like, this kind of fits the segment as to what that is. But it's been a great conversation. And yes, Lance, yeah,
For
to
his
your
whole
whole
body.
entire
Huh?
body. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's your soul. You saw his soul leave his body.
Go.
But but
Oh
it's been a
god.
great conversation, man. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna do this again next week. We're gonna have fun. If there's any comments, anything that you would like for us to talk about, please feel free to submit it. You can go online at two micsup.com. Go ahead and submit, some comments or whatever it is you'd like for us to talk about. We want to hear from you. This is all about you all and the things that we are experiencing every single day in life and in our communities. But before we go, I want to let our co-hosts to share a little something about them. So since we started with Sam, we're gonna close with you, Cliff. Go ahead and give a few words. What's going on with you and what you got going on coming up?
Oh man. 2026 we out here, right? We got T3 Enterprise that actually houses my wife's insurance company, Durham Insurance Agency. We got TD3 Insurance Advisory that the team and I help other aspiring brokers start their own agency, or if you already have your own agency and you're just looking for more carriers and more help on the financial service side, And on the property and casualty side, we got you. Also, big what a big thing that happened is TD3 Insurance Agency and Associates has teamed up and merged with a big brokerage out of Richmond called Encore. So what it is two other brothers. Rod Powell, Mr. Gerard Rod Powell, and Calvin Royster, who are my partners out there. We took our companies and merged it together to just take over the whole DMV, and we expanded to the East Coast, Florida, Illinois, Texas. So we're really making a lot of noise, and which was a blessing for me because now I don't have to try to hold down so many different departments. We each hold down the whole department. We bring it together. We got about 7, 8 agents now, and we're growing. So we out here, man. We out here.
I love that.
Shout out to NAAIA, which is the National African American Association, that I'm a part of, and
Okay.
TBFN. TBFN is the Black Friday network that houses nationwide all black insurance agencies to help them to get to that level that they wasn't taught back when they started out, and give them opportunities that wasn't there before. So just trying to make some
Man,
noise out here in the financial world.
man, I love that, bro. And check Cliff out, man. He's a well-rounded brother. He's a founder, like he said, of TD3 Insurance Agency. He's a mentor. He's a community leader. Glad to have him as a co-host here on Two Mics Up, man. He brings so much business knowledge and just real talk and acumen, you know, to our stage, man. I really appreciate him. And you probably know my cousin, man. I think my cousin is the treasurer for the DC chapter, Leslie Austin of
Get out of here.
NAAIA. Yes,
Okay.
my cousin,
Okay.
man. So
Okay.
shout outs, man, to that
No
man doing
doubt.
big
No
things. So
doubt.
yeah, that's what's up. And look,
No
I
doubt.
can't close out, man, with letting Sarge, man, go ahead and share a few words. Sarge, what you got going on? Anything coming up? We can look for from
Sit here
you.
and bounce back from what Cliff just did. You know what I'm saying? First off, kudos.
Thank you,
Those
brother.
were hey,
Appreciate it.
look, that a lot of milestones right there, and I salute you and your team over there.
Thank you.
Me and myself, hey, look, I'm a humble guy. If I'm not on here, I'm at work. If I'm not at work, you can catch me on Twitch. I'm bringing back games that I hate. With the first one being Final Fantasy 14. I've been trying to play this game for over 10 years, and I always get stuck. So I'm gonna be exploring that. I mean, other than that, I'm considering some other avenues that were suggested to me. Maybe doing some cooking tutorials, as well
Oh,
as
that's dope.
some PC building tutorials as well too. The thing is that prices of PC computer components have jumped through the roof. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge right there. But that's it, really. Just catch me here every Tuesday, hanging out with my two brothers. So
No doubt.
listen,
No doubt.
listen. For
Hey,
those of
Dave, real
y'all who
quick,
the
bro.
for
I got
yeah,
one.
yeah. All right,
Oh, real
hold
quick.
on.
Oh,
Let me
I want to see this.
real
Yeah,
quick.
I got to see
Yeah,
this.
real quick, y'all check out Sam. Like for real, 25-year veteran gamer. He talks about cook. Yo, Sam can make a mean ass breakfast burrito, and he throw down on them that jalapeno mac and cheese. Look, bro, you get shit in. I mean, co-host here, Two Mics Up, man. Real talk all the time, man. A fabulous human being, man. Honored to have him as my brother and friend, and I appreciate him, man. Just joining me on this journey along with Cliff. So make sure y'all tune in on Tuesdays, man, because we bring in the real every Tuesday night. And what you got, Cliff?
I just wanted to salute Sam. 25 years. I didn't get a chance to say that. 25 years.
Yes,
Thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
yes, sir.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
People
I
don't
appreciate it.
don't really know what it takes to go with that type of length of 25 years and serving for your country. So salute to you, brother. And just big shout out to CSC. Right? I didn't get a chance
Right.
to mention them. CSC Thursdays or Facebook Live. We talk about real estate and insurance. Catch us at 12 noon. So I forgot to
There you
shout my
got
brothers
it.
out.
Hey, no problem. There you go. Shout it out. And look, I'm your humble host, and do my best to go ahead and bring you this type of shine and energy every week. I'm Damon Cunningham. Host of the 4-time award-winning talk show Two Mics Up. Can't do this each and every week without these gentlemen. But if you want to follow Two Mics Up, you can follow us across all social media, IG, Facebook, and X at Two Mics Up. You can follow us online at www.twomicsup.com. Like I said, man, we bringing it to y'all each and every week. This is the new format for 2026. But I will say, I still, have some things lined up that I had to intertwine and mix, with this. And yes, Lance, we have to salute all of our veterans because without them, we couldn't do what we're doing here every Tuesday night.
Facts.
Let's just call it what it is, so let's keep that in mind and keep that in our heart and keep them in our hearts and our prayers. But I do have some other shows coming up. We'll be back here next week, Tuesday as well. All new conversation. But then I'm coming back next week, Wednesday as well. I'm going to be sitting down, man. We're going to get into some feel it to heal it. I'm going to be sitting down with Dr. Dana Holloman, and we just going to really open up, man, about how we feel. And, if that's really where you are, because mental health is real, men's health is everything is real today. So we're going to do that next week, Wednesday. So I hope you tune in then as well. And before we close, like we started the show, really talking about, change is good. And I just want to leave you with a couple of things. When we talk about change and growth, whether it's personal, professional, or just the way we move through life, it all comes back to that one thing, change. And yeah, change isn't always comfortable. It's not easy. And sometimes it's really a test for you, right? But that's the point about change. It is good. It can make you a better person, can make you a better community leader, can make you a better father, can make you a better husband, a better wife, whatever it may be. Every step forward that you take, every new challenge, every door that closes is really shaping you into who you really are meant to be. Not who you want to be, but who you're meant to be. In business, change, it really keeps us sharp. In life, it keeps us alive, whether you realize it or not. And personally, it reminds us that progress does not come from standing still. So keep embracing it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't resist the shift. Ride it. Enjoy it. That's where growth truly lies. So I'm your host, Damon Cunningham, and this is Two Mics Up. Until next week, keep growing, keep evolving, and you already know how we do at the end of each and every show. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.
007.